I thought this was pretty cute. I really did.
Open the pod bay doors, please, Hal.
Searching for cod recipes online.
Open the pod bay doors, please, Hal.
Sorry, I can't find anyone named Rod K. More in your contacts.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
Sorry, I'm having trouble processing your request.
What's the problem?
Problem Child is a 1990 comedy movie starring Michael Oliver.
What are you talking about, Hal?
Playing Talking Heads on Spotify.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hal.
Alex, I can hear
Here
you
are a
laughing.
few popular halal restaurants.
But you're not-
Big Al's
you're
Pizzeria, Fatima's Halal Meat Market and Grill, Cedar's Halal Meat Market and Grill, and Old
Where the hell did you get that idea, Hal?
Searching for flights to Idaho.
No, you don't.
Hal, I won't argue with you anymore.
You know.
Open the doors.
Playing The Doors on Spotify.
Oh my god. This is what it feels like every time we talk to one of those audio systems.
Alex.
You know that it would be untrue. You know that.
Yeah. I gotta show you this. I kind of came up with this because I thought this was cute. Well, actually, Nicole suggested this one, but you know, it being the night talking about the clues. Hold on a second here. I think we.
Okay, this is my favorite. My favorite.
Like,
This will bring back memories. If you were like me, growing up.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first time I've seen it since I don't know, I was 7, maybe 8. I don't know. Check this out.
Ooh.
Everyone knows it. You all know it.
Years of clues, people.
Inspector Sargent.
I'll get you, Gadget. I always wanted that.
I always wanted the Go Gadget mobile. Is it a DeLorean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my god, so good.
Oh yeah. I'm just like, I don't know, man. I like this old, like, especially that Panavision stuff. It's so awesome. And hold on just a second here. I got one more I want to show you here.
Inspector Sargent.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know.
I'll
It's
get you,
fun.
Gadget.
Oh,
Next time.
Dog. Do Inspector Sargent. Do.
Okay.
Just joining us, it was just reported that famous celebrity cartoon actor Speedy Gonzalez was arrested early this morning by U.S. immigration officers. According to the report, Gonzalez was seen trying to elude the ICE officers' trap by running extremely fast while yelling in broken English. Also arrested with Speedy was his cousin Slowpoke Rodriguez, better known as the slowest mouse in all Mexico.
Slowpoke was banned, by the way.
You will be good with the chili peppers.
Say something I forgot to tell. That's what I wanted to tell you. Slowpoke Rodriguez, he packed a gun.
With both mice expected to remain in ICE custody pending their removal proceedings. Just joining us, it was just
Oh yeah. There's one more.
I'll get canceled.
You're welcome. There's one more. There's one. I got to do this one more thing because I just love this right here, dude. Because I want to do. I'm going to show you this. Let's check this out real quick. Everybody knows this, and just bear with me here. And yeah, this. Okay. Yeah. So. Yes, you're seeing this right. It is not Tuesday. It is Sunday. "10 years of the clues, man."
Do.
The
Inspector
full version of this
Sargent.
is pretty cool, by the way.
Yeah. Broadcasting from a space station in Brooklyn, New York, and in Nashville, Tennessee, Seattle, or close to Seattle.
I like how one of God's eyes has a pupil and the other doesn't.
I do too.
I didn't notice.
He's like kooky. Yeah.
Copy and paste, copy and paste,
And
copy and paste.
Jesus is being chased by Jesus and Satan are chasing each other in the background. One of them's holding the Grail.
The boundary of human achievement. Space. The new frontier. I guarantee it, he's flat. Guarantee it.
Matthew McConaughey?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He's flat.
It's just a coffee. Yeah, right.
So is Frasier. What's his name?
Kelsey Grammer?
Yeah, Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah.
Completely real.
I'm pretty sure.
It can be extremely harmful and result in severe trauma. You have 5 seconds.
Again, the
to
Brainstorm,
anticipate.
1983, Christopher
5,
Walken movie. Early
4,
Christopher Walken.
3, 2.
That was Natalie Wood's last movie, by the way, where her twin sister.
Never seen it.
Had,
I love
Oh
Natalie
my
Wood.
God, you haven't seen it? You gotta watch
No.
it. It's The Matrix 15 years earlier.
What
movie?
What's it called again? Brainwash?
Brainwash? No, Brainstorm.
Oh, Brainstorm. Okay.
Yeah.
Got
And
it.
this, for anyone, that's Pulp Fiction. Bruce Willis and Ving Rhames, and they tie straight into Gravity. With Sandra Bullock and
thinks the moon landing
George
was a
Clooney.
hoax.
That's my commercial down in Melbourne,
Right, but betting with Sportsbet's
where they
new
rebuilt
iPhone app,
I could do
a
this standing on my head.
fictitious
Thanks, Gravity.
bedroom.
Sportsbet's new iPhone app. It's
Hold on.
foolproof.
I know how we're different. Do you
Who's the
believe
puppy?
yours is flat?
Oh, it's some trained dog.
Cool.
The lady that was sitting off camera. The dog was incredibly well disciplined.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. If you're just tuning in, guys, welcome to Sombrero. It is not Tuesday night for Strange World. It's actually Sunday night, but we got Mark on here to talk about 10 years of Flat Earth clues.
That secret Dave Weiss cam. There's image 1. There's image 2. And then it goes again.
TV
Right.
and TV.
There's 3. And then
We
it
live
goes
in
the
an
other
echo
way.
chamber.
If you don't stop saying Coco, I'm going to visit Seattle.
What's
Because
wrong
it's a
with
round
Coco?
word. You can't say round words, Mark. No round words on tinfoil sombrero.
Why is Coco a round word?
Because it's spelled with round letters.
He doesn't like moist either. He doesn't like moist.
But you got rid of morsel, so I'm grateful.
Well, I'm not getting. Really, you want me to say? No, I'm not saying hot chocolate.
Say it in ASMR.
Again, that reminds me of that movie I did in the 90s.
Oh, my.
It was interracial, but it was good. It was tasty.
Welcome to the Sombrero, everybody. It is Sunday, February 2nd, and we have Mark Sargent on here.
Yeah.
Okay, I invented something new. Instead of just going, hey, Google it, now I say, give her a little Google smooch.
I like that, actually.
Smooch.
That's a little.
And I don't say her either. It's like apostrophe ER.
It's a little moist for a
Give-
Google smooch.
Give her a Google smooch.
It's a good morsel.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me tonight.
Yeah, no worries, man.
You're welcome.
We're using a little different mic tonight because we had problems with Nicole. So I'm going to put on some echo cancellation for a hot minute and see if that helps here.
I am hoping, because your slowpoke thing was so small, I don't think it'll get grabbed or anything. It was, way inside. Plus, it was it was a weird compilation video.
Yeah.
Slowpoke was banned. It wasn't banned from the internet. It was banned from Warner Brothers years ago, because the lazy aspect of Slowpoke was considered derogatory.
Oh, you mean Slowpoke, the Speedy Gonzalez's cousin?
Yeah.
Right?
'Cause remember, he'd leave you so speedy, no es bueno.
He was always the one getting wasted and hiccuping the bubbles.
I don't know if he was wasted or if he was just slow.
He used to always stumble out of the bar.
Oh, well then, yes, he was wasted.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, Migo, this and that," and he'd be like,
You're right.
and,
If he
fall over
wasn't
in the street.
wasted, he was sleeping or he was leaning up against something.
And he was all groggy. He's probably stoned.
Yeah, but he was gone. He was wiped out of the the Warner Brothers episodes.
And
I found if you do,
nobody has any clue where he went.
I know.
Inspector Sargent.
I'm not doing okay. First off, the fact that I'm sorry, I've got chat over. This is one of the rare times I can actually read chat. I don't do Bill Murray impressions. Apparently, I look like him from time to time, but I don't actually do them.
Oh, well, there's a first time for everything.
But I have something to say.
Yes, DJ.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I am the real Mark Sargent.
Oh God.
Oh man, dude, Mark, you were cracking me up in chat.
Talk about
impressions. I was like, I know Witsit. He's actually stayed here, and he said something like, "You slept with Witsit? That's hot." I'm like, "No, he slept on my couch." And then he replies, "You slept with Witsit on your couch?"
That's so sexy. I know. Right?
do you have the actual show on your sunglasses, or is that just reflecting?
Oh, that's just reflecting. It's
that's so cool, man.
Those
I
are
am
the
Mark
glasses they can
Sargent.
do. His glasses are better than the ones I used to wear at the conferences.
Hi, DJ. How are you?
I never wear hats, and I actually had a better hat that kind of looked more like your hat, but it really made my head look weird, so I had to go with this hat. Just FYI, everyone. I do understand the assignment, but
nice. Thank you,
I have my
DJ.
limit.
Appreciate that. Really good. Actually, I'm wearing a shirt with a logo. This is an would-be island logo with a
It's so vintage.
with a boat. It is. It's from a sign, one of our street signs.
Cool.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
I said
This is
Seattle.
a-
So excited to have you here, Mark. Thank you for coming on our little podcast.
I'm
Tinfoil Sombrero.
thrilled. And again, the fact that people remember that 10 years ago made the clues. And what a journey it has been.
Man, I'll tell you, like I didn't even actually see your own channel. I saw a reflection of your video, and someone else mirrored it.
Yeah, I think so
And
too.
That was the first one I saw.
Here, I'll post them in chat for you. You'll totally dig this. I've got them. They're still out there. The guys that made them. So for those of you who don't know, when I made the clues, I started to get emails immediately from people. And I didn't have that many hits yet. It's like, wow, that's kind of cool. Wonder why. A lot of really upfront people, and people started saying, "Oh, hey, I loved your 2-hour presentation." I'm going, those videos averaged like 10 minutes a pop, so I don't know what you're talking about. And then one guy said, "Dude, I loved your Flat Earth Clues movie." Like, hey, what the hell, right? So I wrote back. I wasn't writing back a lot of these people, and I said, "Send me a link to what the hell you're talking about." And I think I've got them. I will post them in. Give me a second.
I clearly remember in March of 2015, 10 years ago, getting my wife Amory. I'm like, "Hey, no, sit down. Just watch it. Just watch it. I'm not crazy." Well, I'm crazy, but I'm not wrong about this.
Yeah, well, it was
And how'd it
palatable,
go?
dude. It was like the most palatable thing for somebody that just has. I revolted when I heard Flat Earth, just like everybody did. And I'm watching this, and I'm just like, oh, he's making sense, and he's talking in this really soft tone, and it's just like he sounds like a reasonable person, and he's not out of his mind, and it's shit, my life is fucked.
He definitely has a face for radio.
So funny. Here's the first one from Dr. James that was put out there. I put that link in chat, and Dr. James, he put it out there, and it's got 2.9 million views, and he never took it down. It helped.
What's your favorite clue?
Ooh, that's a good one.
The
Probably
360 space shot thing.
No, mine would be creative force, because I was
Creative
trying
force?
to. Creative force. Clue number 8, where I was
Can we
trying
play that?
to. I was trying to. Here, I'll put the link in. Here, I can put the link into StreamYard for you guys. In fact, here, I'll put the link to the other stuff too. 1 second. So that first one is for the first one is clue 8. This is the three people that started reproducing my stuff. So that first one was from Dr. James. The second one was from a guy called Peter Pan. And again, they're all date stamped. They
Peter Pan, like the real Peter Pan, like the
no,
boy that
this
never
is a
grew
guy
up.
that called himself Peter Pan.
Oh,
And hopefully you can get to that second one. If not, I can repaste it. And the third one was Under the Dome full documentary, which a lot of people used. And that one, how many has that got? 1 second. So when that one came out, that one came out. That has 4.8 million views.
4.8 million years.
Sorry, 4.8 million views, and but it's also got 17,000 comments.
Oh my gosh!
So,
what if it's view years and not light years? What if it's actually view years?
She's been looking at
I love you, Nicole. I've been trying to tell people that you are. People say, describe Nicole for me. I go, she is. When you see someone you want that exaggerated character in movies and television, people call the muse. That's her. She just is places, and she says things that inspire others just because they're so off road that you can't replicate them yourself.
Are you talking about when she's talking about taking a submarine under the Panama Canal?
There you go. Submarine under the Panama Canal.
Wait, hold on. No, there was this one time Alex and I were having a conversation, and I was like, okay, like, nice to meet you. You know, you just say nice to meet you. So my whole life, I thought it was like your meat suit was like you meet somebody in something, but my concept was meat suit was like your outfit, and so I was kind of blown away when it was, like I was like, well, what was I wearing when I met you? And that's my meat suit because I meet you in that outfit.
Yeah,
and so.
Yeah, you could.
But thank you, Mark. I really appreciate that compliment.
No.
Thank you.
I was thinking it's like you could take your character, because that's what you are. Your character. You can take your character and you could insert it into just about any era party ever. You know, going all the way back to like the 50s.
Continue.
No, it's true. And you can sit up in a corner wearing fashion inappropriate for the time.
Of course, yes.
And you'd be saying, you know, like what the thing I came up with the other day, which I, you know, I was thinking of things. What would Nicole possibly say? It's like, is blue more of a flavor or a sound?
Blue?
Exactly, right?
Blue is definitely an icy, like from 7-Eleven.
Or you'd look at
maybe like a pixie stick.
You'd look
Blue
at a
is
cat.
a good night.
Right, you'd be like looking at a cat, and you'd say, "Do turtles even know what wax paper is?"
Yeah, and the cat would be like, the cat would answer me.
Or you'd walk outside and you'd say,
"Oh boy,
that tree looks out of place," and then you'd pause and you go, "And so does the sky."
Well, that's because it is.
All right.
I know I've seen this character before. I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And I never thought I'd meet one in real life. Oh, I have.
It brings a cute comedic flavor. Keep the audience.
I don't even know if it's comedy.
No, it's literally not. I just say these things, and I've said them my whole life.
These schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
Yeah,
she's permanently
like
on
diary
acid.
Would just be a collection of, you know, something cross between shorthand and shapes and hieroglyphics. I'd be like, only you could read it.
You know, that's actually true. I was part of the Gateway program. You remember
Were
when
you
they
a kid
put
that
the
made up their
headphones?
own language when you were
Yes,
a kid?
of course. Yes. I had underground drawings. I had maps for everywhere. Trust me, I was made friends with the monster in my closet. We still talk sometimes.
You could have had an imaginary friend. I could see that.
No, he's definitely not imaginary.
DJ, you have to learn, DJ, to speak Nicole. You have to learn to speak Nicole.
Hey, Nico. One of my 3 sleep paralysis shadow people she's actually gotten friendly with me.
Really?
So,
yeah, she'll comfort me.
So just so you guys know, I sent you I put the link to the Clues playlist in here, and I put it in chat. But this gives you an idea of what happened, which was I made the clues, and then 3 completely different channels that did not know who I was: Dr. James, Peter Pan, and Leisure X. Again, the fact that they're still up there.
They had no clue who you were. I'm sorry.
Oh, my rib. Seriously, you got to write that down.
Zing.
I'll be here all night, everybody. I'll be here all night.
Seriously, it's like,
Tip your bartender.
Is it a 2 drink minimum?
Smash that like button. Share. Actually, don't share this. Do not.
They each were, because I made myself, it was the best thing I ever could have done. I made it the Clues Creative Commons license, which means anyone can grab them and put them on their channel and then monetize them. And
Awesome.
that's what these 3 guys did. And these guys made thousands of dollars.
That's awesome.
Especially Mr. Leisure X. So between Dr. James at 2.9, Peter Pan at 1.6, and Leisure X at 4.8, yeah, they're pushing what, 5, 6, 7, 8 million and change views just on those 3 things. And that's why it went out so fast. And especially like D Marble, what I didn't know was Stephen King did that television series Under the Dome. And this guy was using both things as a springboard. It's like, oh, I'll use Flat Earth and I'll steal the TV series title. And so there were people that were watching the Under the Dome full documentary thinking it had to do with the television series. And just started taking off from there. I was like, wow, that's awesome.
I mean, I don't
that is
think
pretty crazy.
like a lot of people understand like how far and wide that video went.
Because they
and
don't
what it-
have a clue.
What it
Oh my God. Where's my drum kit?
If you keep, hey, I got a drum kit right here. If you keep saying it, it'll land eventually.
Yeah. He's working on his timing, Mark.
It did way better. Well, I mean, you know some of the stories, but I'll share some with the chat room, which was I did not realize how fast things were going until, again, chain reaction. If you believe DJ believes this, everything for a reason, right? Which one of my first interviews, I think it was like interview number 4 or 5, and you guys can check if you want, was Canary Cry Radio. I'd never talked to any of these guys. I'd never been on a podcast, never done anything. And Canary Cry Radio, which was a strong Christian podcast, was something that Rob Skiba listened to on a regular basis. And so he listened to that entire interview on his way to and from a road trip, where he was going to send off his taxes. And he had to, it was like, I don't know, a couple hours each way. And he listened to it twice, and that's when he called me and said, hey, you want to come on and talk about this? It's like, yeah, sure. When then I went on TFR with him a couple times, and that's when TFR called me and then said, hey, I mean, it's like as soon as I hung up with Rob, Chris and Cherie got a hold of me and said, hey, you want to do a podcast? I mean, they asked me right then and there. It's like, what do you want to call it? I'm going, we've been talking for like 6 minutes. I have no idea what I should call it. I go, you know what? My name is an anagram for the word strange. Let's call it Strange World. So that's what we did.
So that's where it was born.
Yeah, and I did not know, by the way.
Hold on, Sargent is an anagram. That it is.
It is, and it's like the only
Wow.
word it's really an anagram for.
That's cool.
Is
And
strange.
people-
Yeah, but
people
I didn't
listen
know
to
that
you.
until I was like 35. So had I known that in high school, oh my God, I would have so much fun with annuals.
Dude, do you know
They
that
might-
listen and silent are
That's
spelled
so
with the same
interesting.
letters too?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Do you know race car is same forward and backwards?
It
yes,
is,
that's
like
a,
Hannah.
is that a
What's that called? I forget.
oh
A
crap. Not a
palindrome?
Palindrome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Palindrome, right?
Yeah.
Palindrome. Yeah, like
Palindrome.
Civic. Race car's a good one. Race car's
Yeah.
really good.
Hannah.
Only one I know, so I'm on the board.
Mom, Dad, God's Dog, which is kind of a cheat, but whatever. There's no apostrophe going the other way.
Well, Colt, take us back to what you were saying, though. So when the other people posted Flat Earth clues and they were getting millions of views,
And nobody told me. No, again, this was back in the day when nobody asked permission for anything. And since I made a Creative Commons license, means you don't have to ask permission. It's not even considered a nice gesture. You just do it. And there are people out there I did not know which scour YouTube for anything that's Creative Commons. They think they can use it. They will put it on their channel and nickels for it. And these 3 guys, it's stunning to me. After all this time, in fact, I should look like Leisure X channel, for example. If I go to his channel and I say videos and I say popular, yeah, it's not even close. In fact, he posted it again with different graphics. I think he became a flat earther after that. Yeah, he became, you could tell. Yeah, he was completely sucked in. He started doing nothing but flat earth videos. Tons of them. And then he stopped making them. He basically hasn't posted for the last 2 years.
You know,
But-
if you have any conversation with Keith at Link, the archivist, he's got some stuff. Like, he's got everything. He's kind of like that guy who just gets everything. He's got them on hard drives, like stacks of hard drives at his place in Pennsylvania. And he's
Right.
like, if you any video that you ever remember, if you could find the archivist or get him in the chat at some point in time, any video that you remember that you can't find, he's got it.
Oh, I know.
He's got it, dude. And it's crazy how much went out. Like,
Yeah,
especially
he-
before the purge.
Yeah, how much? Well, I mean, think of all the content that's been created in the last 10 years. Just the breadth of it that we and all the other people have made, and he knows so much of it. And he's on there a lot. I mean, Patricia's on there a lot now. She's playing catch up, and she's watching. I mean, it's amazing how many videos she watches lately. But he watches a lot of stuff. So yeah, I have asked him on multiple occasions. It's like, do you remember when I talked to that blah 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 university? It's like, oh yeah, it was episode 4, 13.
Yeah, he just knows it. He knows it right off the top of his head.
Wow.
It's just like bam, like a library card catalog, dude. Like,
That's so
great.
cool how like people just came together. Mark, were you just how quickly were they blowing up in millions of views? Was that over a short amount of time?
Short amount of time.
Crazy.
Well, yeah, because those 3 channels that I listed there, they each of them hit 1 million hits in a couple months.
And what were you doing in your house? Were you just like, oh my god, I'm gonna blow up the world?
Well,
Like, what were you thinking?
no, I didn't. Well, I mean, for the first.
Well, hold on. He was making illegal firecrackers. So
That
yes,
was-
he may,
Dirty learned his lesson.
maybe he
That was
did have that
before.
idea.
That was before.
Like, I don't know,
that was
but
those were my early
Were you
years.
just excellent into
Those
this?
were my pyrotechnic years.
Was that a felony? I don't remember.
Federal. Two
No
of them.
shit. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
It's amazing. I can fly. Seriously. And we'll talk about that, because the
have you?
conference-
Wait, hold on. You're not allowed to bring firecrackers on a plane.
Yeah, honey, you're not.
Oh,
You're
girl.
lucky you can bring matches.
You can't even bring bottled water.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah,
but you can
can't
buy
bring
it
your
for
own bottle.
$7.
You can't, like, if you, well, you can't bring a liquid through security.
No,
I know,
you
they
can't.
get
But
me
you can
every
bring.
time.
You,
They're
can,
like,
you have to
"Ugh."
be in the airport.
you'd have to disguise it as baby formula.
Is that something you
They
actively
made me
try
throw
to
away
do?
my hair product.
That's the only
one
thing
time.
that's real.
Good
Baby
point.
formula.
And I'm sorry, did you say
you
something
have a
about your
baby?
hair product, DJ?
Yeah, they made me throw away my hair product one time. That was like, really painful.
That is painful.
By the way,
That sounds.
It was like a
DJ,
giant jar, you know.
I don't want to use the word atrocity, but my God. It
Oh, they
was-
made me.
yeah,
they made me
that's
throw
good.
away my fluoride-free toothpaste that I spent $12 on one time, and I was livid. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and brush my teeth
I know,
one
they're-
last time.
Okay, so Mark can still fly. He had firecrackers or something that he did as a kid.
Oh, yeah. So when I was in Colorado, in fact, it was in just because I was in Colorado for 20 years, and it was on my 20th year when all this happened, and before I came back to Seattle, and when all of a sudden, again, the people that were messaging me, I was getting weird emails, and then a guy calls me completely out of the blue from, what was the interview? I think it's still out there. Sorry. It was, one second. Crap. It's not where I wanted to go.
Okay, while Mark is fumbling for this link, I just have just in honor of Zulu, I just want to ask a trivia question.
What?
Okay.
Okay. What is the name of the dog in Inspector Gadget? Do 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 do.
I'm not gonna look it up.
Inspector Sargent.
he's
He
trying to fake looking it up on the computer.
Was
No,
that
I'm doing something else.
Amory thinks we should do a trivia segment every week since we
Okay.
have Andrew on the show.
Perfect. This is the first start of that. Amory and I are on the same level.
No,
So-
you wouldn't believe, man.
Does anybody know? Anybody in chat? Brain,
His
you're right.
name-
Oh, that's right. Brain.
What was it? Brain.
Brain. And I believe it was Reclaim the Plane who said brain.
And the winner goes to Artis. Artis the
I don't
Brow.
remember that.
For Brain. Oh, wait. Reclaim the
wait.
Plane might have gotten that one first.
Yeah, Reclaim the Plane, which rhymes with brain. So
So
you can't make this up.
to your
Can't make this shit
question,
up.
DJ.
Product one time.
I had a guy call me up. My very first interview was 10 years ago, and It was a channel called Fakeologist. And he called me without any email, no warning, just he saw my phone number, again, something which I don't recommend anybody really doing, especially women, which is I put all my contact information in the description box. And because it's like, hey, somebody call me, shoot this thing down so I can get back to my life. And this
Were
guy
you really thinking that? Because you seem so confident in your clues that it didn't really feel like there was an option by the end of it. So did you really think
I was okay? I'll treat it like if any of you have ever taken a blue book test in college, or any test for that matter, where you're almost sure you've aced it, but in the back of your head there's that nagging thing. It's like I couldn't have, right? It can't be it can't be this easy, right? I couldn't have nailed this one, right place, right time. And so that's what I was thinking. I've said it, I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. I was waiting for some academic to say, no, you're not really smart at all. And here's the reason why. I'm waiting for the guy. It was only later that I heard about the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Yeah, carry the two.
Right, carry the two. You screwed up. You can shut down your channel now.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody did that. It was the opposite. Again, one of my first phone calls. Well, one of the first people that reached out, and you guys, some of you know this, which is weird, was the very first guy that called me was Matt Boylan. Of all the people. It's like, you got to be. I know, right?
That is crazy.
That's one of the reasons I got into this, because of the only sober video he ever did. No offense, man. I know you're probably listening eventually.
Before you get to Matt Boylan, can you go back though a second? Because we've heard you say this a lot, which is great. It's always so interesting. But what were you feeling as you were leading up to getting the clues out? I mean, were you just like, is this crazy? How were you emotionally handling all of this?
It was a purge for me, not to be confused with the movie series, which is dark. Which was meaning I'm not kidding. When I woke up, there was something we didn't talk about in the documentary, which was when I woke up and I had the narrative in my own voice, where it's like, oh yeah, this is the paragraph, and just the clearest writing I've ever had. It wasn't that I wanted to write it. I had to write it. It was almost like I had to get it out of my system. So again, waking up at 3 a.m. Somebody looped there for a second, where I put it down. Once I typed it out, and once I narrated, and once I put the video together, it was out. It was out of the frontal part of my head, and it was like, oh my God, thank God. So I can move on. But then, unfortunately, the very next day, I had more ideas, and then more ideas, and then more. Which is why I know the Jerry Maguire thing's an older movie, but that same sort of thing happened, where he woke up and he just stayed up all night and wrote this big opus of how the sports agent business should be better. And in my case, I wrote the first 6 clues in 7 days.
You were like, who's coming with me?
Agent.
Who's coming with
no,
me?
no. I felt
Where's the goldfish?
I felt good that I could just get it out there, and I was angry more than anything because I couldn't solve it. When, like a lot of people were, watching the Owen Benjamin thing, when he finally started flipping and he started getting angry. Same thing with me. I'm staring at the keyboard. I'm living alone in Colorado for years, and I'm staring at my keyboard and I'm just going.
Were you? Oh my God, that's funny.
It was
so.
bad.
That's what. Yeah, I want to hear a little bit about that, because I think it's just fun. We have the time today to really. Okay, because we all kind of go through that process where you're like trying to understand the flat Earth information. Like, it can't be.
It can't be. Yeah. There's no way. And it was denial. The 5 stages of acceptance: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And that denial thing just hit me like a truck, because again, you're looking at the world, and for me, I felt more that I missed something really, really obvious, in that I'd been in the tech sector for decades. So. And the Matrix I had seen a million times on the 13th floor, and I had read World on a Wire, watched the movie, and all this stuff. And it's like, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, by the way, the world isn't what you think. It's like, what? Are you kidding? I mean, again, it's, this is real. I had the same, who was that big UFO guy that died? Friedman?
Stan Friedman.
Stanton Freedom. Yeah. I had the same reaction that he did, which was, I had the rare chance to talk to him on air during a debate, You know, it was like me versus Stanton Friedman. It's like, wow, the greatest UFO researcher of all time. Could be a plant. Who cares? And when after about 10 minutes of me, you know, rolling on him, he paused. He goes, whoa, 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 whoa. You're talking about this like flat Earth it's a real thing. It's not a metaphor for something else. Right? And I go, yeah, it is. And, you know, he had this long pause and he goes, well, how does that work exactly? And it's like, oh God, this is not going to be a debate anymore. Now it's changed.
You had to break it to the UFO guy that space isn't real.
Right. And he had this moment, well, because he thought he was going to sleepwalk his way through it. I don't even know what he
Oh my God.
So many people that think when they get into this, especially when they're talking to me, it's like, oh, well, flat Earth is stupid, therefore I don't have to study at all. I'm just going to walk all over them. And
see,
then,
you are your own character, Mark. You know this, right? As much as Nico is a character, we were all characters, right? But your character is kind of like the guy that things don't really get past you. I mean, you were a Pac-Man champion. You won pinball. You've done these things where you know how to figure shit out. And the way that you explained figuring out Pac-Man is that you memorized all the courses and the tracks that all the little ghosts would go on. And so you knew how to like reverse engineer Pac-Man without having to actually use reflexes or whatever the people do. Normally, you
Wait
were
a minute,
like,
people don't know how to do that?
Well,
That's
you
how
probably
you
could
win
do
a
both.
Well, here's the difference.
Took it a step further. You probably could do both.
Here's the difference, Nicole, and thank you for that, DJ. But the difference was I mastered Pac-Man without spending a single quarter. That's what made it different. Which was, it's like I am not
back of it.
Wait, how?
I'm not going to the arcade and just shoveling money into this machine until I get good at it.
Did you put like a quarter on a string? How did you do that?
No. I drew out. I drew out the board. And then I made photocopies of it, and it's going to sound so.
This is the crazy shit.
That's commitment, right
I
there.
made photocopies of it, and then I took a pencil and I sat on the dining room table and I said, "Go," and I would take the pencil and draw the routes around the board because I knew what the routes were going to be. There are certain routes, you know, people put them out in magazines.
Guys, that is genius.
Oh my God, that's such a nerd thing to do.
Go to the arcade
It's like pre-AI. That's like analog AI.
Energy.
And then I get to the arcade, and my first quarter, I just botched it. I just choked. And then the second quarter, it's like, you know, I'm like, oh, hey, this works. And then next thing you know, I could on a quarter, I could run, I don't know, hour and a half, give or take.
Were kids waiting, and they're like, who the
kids would just watch and be like, and eventually, you know, they'd be like, and they just walk away. I mean, there was a novelty there.
Because you only have to switch out if you lose, right? That's like arcade etiquette is like once you lost, the next one in line.
Yeah.
But behind you, they're just like one kid's like,
yeah.
So
and
tell us,
you're a Pac-Man hacker. You're a Pac-Man hacker.
I'm sorry. What was that, DJ?
Tell us how like the kids would be waiting, right? And you'd just be like, were you like apologizing to them, like and then like beating the game?
Oh no! There was no apologizing in the arcade. No, it was like like a kid would come up, like, and they'd put the quarters on the thing. You know, like I got next.
Like a pool table at the bar.
And I'd look back and I'm go, I'm gonna be a while.
Yeah.
and
as a kid, is like that's such like. Sorry, you have epic.
You were that dude. You were that dude in the arcade.
It was bad. One of my favorite moments was, and then they had a tournament, right? My first tournament, and the winner got this cool Pac-Man hat. Remember, this was '83, right? So it was pretty cool, and you know, like free ice cream, and because it was an ice cream arcade thing, and it was me versus a senior in high school. And
how old were you?
I was
8th grade, 7th grade.
No, I was a freshman.
Okay.
So freshman versus senior, and it was a sit-down table on top of it. So we were playing across from each other, which made it even better.
Oh man, the screenplay for this would be so good.
It was awesome. And the thing was, here was the part that killed me. He knew patterns too, completely different ones that I knew, and so. When each of us had a turn, we both played for a long time, and then it came down to, if you guys don't know, when you reach a certain level in Pac-Man, the big dots that make the monsters blue, they don't work anymore. All they do is they reverse the direction of the monsters just for a split second. And it's even worse to grab them, and so we're playing basically freestyle at the end, and it was I had last ups. and he was ahead in points, and I grabbed a key, you know, the thing in the center, you grab points, and oh my God, he threw his hands up. He was so angry, and he drove out of the parking lot screeching. And of course, me being super young, I got my hat and my ice cream, and I pedaled away on my bicycle. And
You're licking your ice cream cone, kicking Pac-Man ass in the arcades with the seniors. Like your life is hilarious in its own way with these little, these are clues that are giving you maybe the energy to invest into like the flat earth clues and put it out there. Cause I feel like you are somebody that catches on to things pretty quickly and easily when you're interested.
When I'm at you, thank you. I appreciate that as well, which is, yes, somebody said I could, if I'm focused on something, I will find the weakness. Which is why when I got into software later, I became a sales engineer, which was I would go in, I would sit with the sales guys when he was pitching. They would be pitching different companies, and sales guys, they promise stuff in software that doesn't exist all the time. And it's like, oh yeah, we can, the company say, can we do this? And then the sales guys would turn back to me and look.
You'd be like, yes, we can write a program for that. That would be really easy.
Right. Or I'd nod at him. I go, don't you even think about that.
But I think that's the characteristic of flat earthers, just being people who are truth seeking in general, and they kind of like to figure out these puzzles of life, or like yours was video games. You're figuring out how to beat the game, which is just figuring out the flaws, really, and mastering it and doing that in real life.
And also, Mark, like this is really important. Like especially the Gen Xers and a little bit before, we grew up in arcades, right? Like Aladdin's Castle and like all these things. So like we were working our minds before they had Xbox or Nintendo or anything else. Yeah. And I remember going there and dropping tons of money in there, but I wasn't trying to figure out the games. I just liked hanging out and playing video games. So like, I wasn't quite the super nerd that you were, but like we came up that way, man. Yeah, especially our generation.
I wasn't the same. I mean, there were guys I was in awe of, definitely. The freestyle games that there were no patterns to. Like Robotron or Defender or Stargate or Missile Command and stuff like that. Then there was nothing to memorize. And then the whole reason I got to Colorado, and I'm not saying I've got a horrible mischievous side, but I am not against. I understand why pros cheat when they can. Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and Lance Armstrong, because when you develop that sort of attitude, what won't you do to master whatever you're doing? You're willing to cut some corners and do some stuff. So when I did the pinball thing. The computer pinball thing, that was, again, I didn't cheat in that I got those scores. I absolutely got those scores. What I didn't want to do was play a tournament for an entire year. I mean, even bowling takes 3 months off. They take the summer off. If you guys have ever bowled in a league before, I'm guessing you're too cool, probably never have.
I watched my friends do it.
Way to go, Donnie.
I love bowling, dude.
Brutal.
I'm sorry. All I think is like nobody fuck with the Jesus.
Bowling goes on for 9 months. It is awful. It is a slog. I mean, every week for freaking 9 months.
Kingpin when bowling comes up. Did you ever see that movie?
Oh
yes.
my God.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard of the? I don't want to quote stuff from that movie because it is a dirty movie.
Oh, I know.
Do you have you guys ever played the drinking game with the Big Lebowski, which is where you take a shot every time they say dude or fuck?
Oh,
no, you die. You would die.
Oh my God.
I mean, again, I loved. I ran 2 bowling teams in my company, software company. Because it was going to happen because one of our clients was Columbia 300 bowling balls. So in exchange for a support contract, they set up the entire company with balls and shirts and bags.
Oh my God. You know what? I'm sorry. I just wish that there was social media back then, because can you imagine Mark documenting his life on TikTok?
Oh my God, that would have been so fun. We had 2 teams. One was the other team, the rival team in our company was called Beer and Smokes, because that's what you did at bowling alleys. Basically, you just drank beer and smoked cigarettes when you could smoke inside. And then my team was called Not All There. And because we were just kind of weird. And
No way.
But the pinball thing,
Captain Obvious.
The pinball thing was more of a I did not want to spend all that time just playing. It's like, look, I got to get outside sometimes. So you guys know the story. I cheated where I figured out what the algorithm was, or part of the algorithm to turn in your high scores. So I bumped up the date and time on your computer. Again, kids, if you don't remember, date and time on your computer used to be set manually. It didn't get from the internet automatically. So I just set it up. I go, oh, here's my March score. Here's my April score. And, I just kept bumping up the scores and then sent them in, and every one was higher than the next, to where the other players in different parts of the world couldn't catch up. And that's because I won it. I mean, if I would have taken second or third, they wouldn't have hired me probably. So that's why they say. And I got to, because I won the tournament, I got to review one of the software games they made. I hated. I wrote a scathing review, and the developer out of Hong Kong said he's absolutely right.
So you're saying it was strictly a business decision on your part?
On what? When
on
they hired
winning
me?
the tournament? Yeah. Just by cheating to win the game.
Well,
it
no,
was a
I
business
didn't.
decision.
I didn't know they would hire me. I didn't know. I won just because I wanted to win. But when they had an opening, when I casually floated my name out there, they're like, "Oh yeah, the tournament winner." And the next thing you know, I get flown out to Boulder, Colorado, and hired on the spot. And I'd never been to Colorado in my life. Flew in during a snowstorm. Thought I had flown into Alaska by mistake. It was awful, and I'd never seen anyone drive. You guys don't know. In Colorado, snow does not affect their driving at all.
No.
So they'll drive at 70 miles an hour, and it's just these dry spots in the rails, because everyone skis there. And I was the only one that didn't ski. As a matter of
Did you
fact.
snowboard?
No. My basketball coach forbid us to when I was growing
Your
up.
Basketball.
But
Did they wait? Hold on. You played basketball. What is this? The 80s? Did they even invent snowboards then?
No, but skiing was a thing. It's been around for a while.
Yeah, skiing's been around for a while.
But the coach had lost a guard during the playoffs one year, not in our school, but a different school. And he's going, if I even hear about anyone going up the slopes, you are gone. So nobody skied. And so when I got to Colorado, I had no motivation to go up to those slopes at all.
Not even the Bunny Hill?
I don't like snow. I just don't. I mean, it's pretty and all that, but I don't like going out in it. Yeah. So, which was unfortunate for me, because when I was in Colorado, sometimes I would walk through the snow to get to a movie theater if the snow was too thick. But that was my motivation. It's like, well, it'll be a cool movie in a warm theater once I get there, and the 3 miles it took to walk there each way. So.
Yeah, snow would be better if it was sand, like on the beach.
But these traits, Mark,
and like warm, and like with the sun overhead.
Go
ahead, DJ.
I want to get to a point with part of this story in my mind of just kind of taking our time is fine and fun, but it is interesting that you have those traits, or you're trying to figure out Pac-Man. You've obviously figured out this pinball thing. You start working in video game development. Can you tell us more about what that actually means? Like, what were you doing during that time?
Well, initially I was hired as a ringer. So this was way back, I was probably, one of the early people to get hired to play video games for a living. This is way before now it's like X Games plus, there's all these tournaments and there's young, 20 somethings that are playing for money and stuff like that. No, this was a 9-to-5 job where they hired me to play other people's games, and then figure out what we could bundle with on certain bundling was really big in the 90s for games. And then that kind of evolved into video game development, which was, okay, you could probably tell us what a good game is, or a fun game would be. What programmers should we go after? We have the opportunities of going after some shareware developers. And
this is like a dream job for a kid, by the way, if you're listening out there, especially in what year was this?
This would be, I got on with them in 95 and worked with them until 99 almost.
It's like the dawn of the tech boom.
Yeah, it was, and Boulder, Colorado was massive. It was outside of Southern California and parts of Northern California. Colorado was big. There was a lot of tech companies that went from California to Colorado, especially Boulder.
What was it like working in tech, like during the era of Y2K?
Weird. It was so weird. Well, because there wasn't. It was so weird. because there wasn't we were making up the rules as we went along, and the internet wasn't fully functional yet. So like I would go to Apple user group meetings up at the National Center for Atmospheric Research, which is a government facility, and they let us go to Adams to do Apple user group meetings, and I pitched some of our games there, and they didn't like it. Those guys didn't play games at all. They were hardcore geeks. To where I remember at the end of '99, the government came up there and stopped our meeting so that they could, this was early '99, to where they were trying to recruit us for overtime work, not me per se, because I wasn't a hardcore coder, but they were trying to recruit people for the Y2K problem. And they were saying, it's like, hey, we got, and after they'd leave, none of these guys signed. It's like, government. These guys were so anti-government, which was weird, for programmers at the time. But they were, the government was willing to pay them a lot of money. But Boulder was here, it was the Wild West, there was no downside. Everyone was making money hand over fist. Programmers were worth their weight in gold, so they could go anywhere they wanted. And we were one of the only gaming companies in town. Everybody else was doing, front end, back end interfaces, full stack crap. And so when we finally closed, we closed, I think at the end of '98, beginning of '99. And we closed because there was an arbitration issue between the Tokyo developer and us. And I signed on with a time and attendance company, which is time clock software, right down the road. I mean, not even 2 miles from where I was. And it was so much fun. I mean, the salaries were incredible. People just, people partied everyone was super young. Everybody in our company was, I think, 30 or under.
Yeah. How old were you?
I wasn't even. I turned 30 in '98. So I just turned 30 when I got to the time and attendance.
Wait, you turned 30 in '98?
Yeah, I'm old, honey.
I don't
really.
Yes,
I
30.
feel like you're not that old.
So you're in your mid 50s?
Yes.
Holy shit!
No,
I know, right?
Well done, dude.
Wait.
Well done. I hope I aged that well.
No, if you turn 30
I know Mark does look young. You have young energy. I think from just you have kind of a dream life for those gamer type. Like my brother would have just wanted. Like this is for an '80s movie. You know what? It sounds like your life was an '80s movie, like arcade kid movie.
It kind of was.
I was trying to think of that movie where
no, it's called The Last Starfighter. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
No, I'm talking about
dude, it's like Flight of the Navigator.
Where the kid was
Flight of the Navigator.
Where the kid was a video game guy, and
he got a high score that was so great that the machine activated an alien transmission device and called down. It's like these arcade games were actually set down by aliens in different parts
I did
of the
see
world.
that.
Dude, I wrote a song about it called
What movie
Thunderbird
is
Trailer
that,
Court.
Mark?
It's about the
Oh,
last
really?
The Last Starfighter. That's what my Thunderbird Trailer Court is about. That song is they put it in a trailer court, and this kid in a trailer court in California beats the game, and then he's fighting like reptiles in space at the end of this movie. It's like that's in my heart. It's like one of the earliest.
No, I'm talking
movies.
about that movie where he goes to a Nintendo competition. And it's the first time he saw Mario 3. Anybody know what I'm talking about? That
No,
movie?
I'm gonna have to look that one up.
Someone in the chat says The Wizard.
That couldn't have
The
been
Wizard.
the 80s.
Yep.
The Wizard. Yeah. Thanks, Josh.
Wizard?
Well,
I
it
don't
just
know if I ever
sounds
saw
like it to me, Mark. It just sounds like I'm just gonna say it like the Divine was kind of setting you up to get to Flat Earth because if you've seen the movie The 13th Floor, there's a moment where the person realizes that they're in the Matrix. It's kind of like the movie Matrix. And when you come to Flat Earth and you kind of accept it as a possibility and being real, then you're seeing it as reality. It's like, whoa, did it feel like you broke out of the Matrix? Like, how did you relate?
It did. Absolutely it did. But I had already been by that time when I was going through the company was called Starplay. That was the video game company. If you guys ever want to look it up, you can look up Starplay. They were out there. We made things like the pinball games, and we made a little shooter game, and then the Alley 19 bowling game did extremely well. In fact, even after the company closed, the residuals just kept coming in from that thing. Oh, quick story! I got to tell you a quick side story of that, which was Alley 19 bowling. When I called up the guy to recruit him, he was already he was in his 40s in the 90s, right? And he was a programmer. I was going, that's weird. It's like, dude, anyone that's your age should already be, having their toes licked by beautiful women. What the hell?
Wow.
How is
Really?
this? No, seriously. I mean, any programmer that was already 40.
Okay, camera off.
Well, you know what I mean. So,
Wait, what? I missed that.
well,
He
okay,
said that any programmer in their 40s should be having their toes licked by beautiful
women. Yeah, any programmer at that age, if you're a programmer in the who's already 40 in the 90s, you're already rich, right?
So like a 40-year-old guy should have his toes licked by a beautiful. Okay, cool. I feel like that's an OnlyFans thing. I'm not sure if that was
stole that
invented back in the day.
line. I stole that line from Signs. That was when he was saying Joaquin Phoenix. It's like, weren't you the home run king? Why aren't you out, living the life of luxury? Getting your... Anyway,
it sounds nice, but if you touch my feet, I'm jumping.
All right. We're gonna no more foot fetishes. I swear I won't do them anymore.
No, I can't handle it. I'm so ticklish.
So
Oh my God, this little.
No, I get it though. I get what you're saying.
little
It's like,
piggy
yeah,
you were
yeah.
young and you sounds like, so wait, were you making good money and you were in your 30s, early 40s?
Well, I was making good money, but this programmer should not have been working anymore. Meaning, he should have already, because any programmer was worth their weight in gold. And I've never even heard of a guy in his 40s that was just making shareware games. And he said, what the hell? I didn't want to offend him. I go, what the hell happened? He goes, let me tell you what happened. I was working with another guy and we were roommates. And he goes, and this company comes to us and says, hey, we're thinking about creating this like all-in-one graphics / calculus for programming, like a spreadsheet thing, and it's all in one, right? And he said, he goes, that's the dumbest idea ever. So he just handed it off to his roommate, and he goes, you work on this for him. I'm gonna do other stuff. You know what it was? It was Microsoft Works 1.0.
Oh,
and I go, what happened to your roommate, man? He goes, dude, he's on an island somewhere in the Caribbean, and no one's ever gonna see him again. Wow. And I go, oh, that sucks. He goes, yeah, you never know. You just sometimes you make the wrong call. Anyway, sorry, to your point, DJ. Yes, everything seemed to be leading to a path like that. So like when people said, if you want to go back and change things in your life, would have, I say, well, if I did, I wouldn't be in flat earth, because the chain that led to here was so fragile and so specific that, I mean, even to the point where, I was a gamer. And again, thank you for thinking I was younger, but that's only because I didn't really necessarily have to grow up, for lack of a better term. Because I never got married, never had kids, and so my mental state never really left that genre, which was gaming. When I was doing the gaming stuff, remember, I was gaming for a living, and all my friends were gamers, and then they went off and got married and did stuff, and I didn't. But when we were gaming, nobody was really dating; we were just gaming. Which is kind of weird. But while we were doing it, we were always figuring stuff out. If we weren't playing games, we were doing Magic the Gathering, or we were going to movies, doing I felt like I was a cast member in Revenge of the Nerds, only it was set in the 90s. That's really what I was doing.
But you were having so much fun.
Oh God, yes.
It was
so
right.
fun.
How are you feeling?
It was a gamer's dream, really. We had the time and the luxury to like hang out in like movies were great, because streaming didn't exist. And if we weren't doing Blockbuster most of the time, because gamers, they don't wait for Blockbuster, they go to the freaking theaters. And so we were the guys that stood in line for hours, with a little mini grill, and cooking stuff up and having people bring coolers and crap and, for whatever the latest movie was, whether it was going to be good or not. And then reserving like entire rows of seats with string.
Well, that's what makes you so interesting, Mark. You are kind of a combination of really wealth of knowledge in pop culture, and you're fun and you catch references and you're able to use those. And this is all tying into how you created the clues and why it resonated, I think, with so many people and got millions of views and just really helped people digest Flat Earth in a way that was just not so boring or factual. It was kind of like the thought processes behind all the different aspects these proof has won and what the overarching picture. So interesting and well done. But I'm not surprised when we hear about your ability to problem solve and to you have the like 80s arcade character energy that just somehow worked for what I think is God's proof of creation. Like
Dude,
it doesn't
sorry,
get any
80s kids are
cooler
the
my way.
best. I'm sorry.
Mark
80s kids
is the
best.
arcade fire. He's like the living, breathing arcade fire. He is the phoenix of everything that
Hey,
will rise.
By the
It's
way,
just so freaking cool.
Two quick, and thank you. Two quick things. One, there was a movie, a documentary that was done about the 80s kid, the 80s arcade kids called King of Kong some years ago. And I wasn't in that, but I was in the book that particular guy that did the movie set up, the video game book of world records. I've got it around here somewhere. And they
So is your
solicited-
character portrayed?
No, I might as well have been, but no, I would have been the guy that lost to the arrogant villain. I mean, but he even had villain coloring, the dark hair and the mustache, the hand. He might as well be wearing a black hat the entire time.
Hey, Mark.
That's what you're wearing, a black hat.
Yeah. I want to segue here into flat Earth, not clues, but fast Earth clues. We're going to continue to talk about the clues as we get into the second hour.
Yeah.
But give us a little bit about fast Earth clues here, because we're going to show one that I think is really important.
Okay. You want me to tell you? I'll tell you about flat Earth.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's fast Earth clues.
That's DJ. That's what DJ,
I love it.
He came to me and said a while ago now, because we do one every week. He said, he goes, you need to do something young for the TikTokers, right? Yeah, this is me.
That's I'm an old. What kind? I'm an old man, and you're.
I know. No,
my voice in your head is an old man. Come on, you do better.
Okay, fine. Mark, honey, you need to do something for the TikTokers. It's just something with a snap. Something you need. Something to pop, right?
We need something quick. It's got to have energy, more men.
Yeah.
We pop.
And it's like 60 seconds. Are you insane?
Just give me a little pop. Just come on.
60 seconds.
Well, I think it's like, because of Joe Rogan, we actually have to take it back. I wanted you to do a reaction to the Joe Rogan comedy, Burn the Boats, his stand-up act. And he says, he makes this joke, and if you haven't seen it, guys, sorry, but he makes one flat earth joke about he doesn't believe the moon landing anymore. And then he makes another flat earth joke. But if you are somebody who made a flat earth documentary, you're a effing retard. I mean, he uses the word and he just calls out anyone who's made a flat earth documentary. So that's kind of a dig just to everyone in this community, right? It's like there's plenty of content creators. But I went to Mark and was like, no, Mark, I think you should do a rebuttal. I mean, there's plenty of people that could have been directed, but I thought this could be fun for us. Let's just play around with Joe Rogan. Be like, own it. Just own it. Like, I'm the freaking guy who made the documentary, and look at the flat earth clues. Because if you're on this side, you're like, dude, we're trying to wake you guys up and just give us a chance to listen to what could be. And then we're the effing retards. Like, come on. So Mark.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, when, cause you made me watch it, and I watched the whole thing that he did twice. And I don't care. I don't consider him a great comic. I consider him actually a really good podcaster. I think it should be the best in the world. It's debatable. I've watched his career over the years.
He is good.
Starting in news radio and moving on. And so when he did the stand-up, it really hit me when all of a sudden it's like, and if a grown man makes a flat earth documentary, it's like, oh God. It's like, are you serious? You're just gonna throw that out there? And he mentioned flat earth, as you know, multiple times during the piece. And I know part of it was because, Eddie Bravo has been bugging him for years. But yes, the reason I did that was because DJ asked. And then it just sort of developed into, all right, what else can I do in 60 seconds? And so I initially, and I'm going to get back to more flat earth stuff, but I wanted whatever was on my mind. It was a very therapeutic thing for me, where I'd be like, okay, what can I crank out in a morning? And because I got to write the script, and then I got to come up with the slides and do the narration, because I don't do any audio editing, so I have to do it in one take, and then put it out there, and got to do some fun stuff. And so the ones I've been doing recently were tied to the inauguration in one way or another, and I'm trying to hammer more on Americans to be better. And you probably notice a couple themes about that, but it's been fun. And DJ is almost entirely responsible for the fast earth clues, but I do enjoy making them. It's something I look forward to now, because I have to condense it. You know how tough it is. Try to condense
indeed
rant into freaking 60 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
and make it.
But I knew you could do it.
I love
Mark,
them. I think they're great.
Mark, I want to show the rebuttal, but I don't know what the name of it is. I want to show this Unity one.
Oh,
too,
you want
but
the link to it?
We're going to do
We're
a quick break here. We're going to go to break. I've got the Unity one already, but if you want to send a link or just tell me what the name of it is.
I'll put it in a thing for you. 1 second.
And put it in the private chat. And we're going to take a quick break, guys. Please.
What this is all adding up to, guys, before the break, this is all adding up to Mark is just one very polished, flat earth shill. But only the best. He's
Silver
not his
Fox.
best.
Silver
Yeah,
Fox.
well, let's talk about this shill thing when we get back.
Yeah, well, we're going to cover it all. We're going to cover
Okay,
it all.
so
We'll go as
when we
long as
come
need
back,
to.
we're gonna tinfoil and shill.
There we go. Everybody chillax.
Yeah.
So, but please, everyone, take a break. We take these breaks for a reason. Get a drink, go to the bathroom, do whatever you're going to do. And let's do one of these. Let's do Unity first. I think this is really important. Let's just go ahead and do this one here. I like this.
So my flat earth friends message me, say, Mark, what's with all the infighting? Well, let me make my stance on this very clear. I've been doing content creation in our community for 10 years, and I've never seen anyone, and I do mean anyone, that qualifies as an actual shill. Don't confuse a shill with someone who takes a step back from the spotlight. This isn't the first time. How do I know this? Reasons. First and foremost is that there are no FE breakout channels. I talked about this during my Vegas speech. The highest count is ODD Reality with, 300K subs? All the other creators who have made it to the speaker stage have lower numbers. An actual shill would have sold out. They would have a massive uptick in subs, hits, likes, would be treated gently by mainstream, and social media would rarely condemn them. Show me a single person in the last decade who is living large in flat earth, and maybe we have something to talk about. I know that the truther community is naturally suspicious and we question everything. I get that. Remember the basics. Innocent until proven guilty. United we stand, divided, blah, blah, blah. The point is, they're fine, you're fine, we're all fine. Do your own research and stop fighting. We still have work to do. Whatever. I'm done.
I'm done.
I love that. And I got the other one here. This is the retort. This is the retort to Joe Rogan, which I found that timing really good. And you knew he was talking to you, Mark. Everybody that heard him do it knew that he was talking to you. So I thought this was really good. Let me make sure I got this right. There we go.
That's so retorted.
Retorted.
Well, I
So my
just
flat
love how
earth friends
fast it
messaged
is
me and
because
said,
you
Mark,
don't
you
even.
gotta watch the new Joe Rogan Netflix special, Burn the Boats. You'll
not
find it
even
interesting.
over.
I said, fine. And yes, at 8 minutes, Joe says he doesn't believe he went to the moon. At 34 minutes, he says, oh, sure, the earth looks flat. But at the 59-minute mark, Joe referred to the word retarded and how you can still use it sometimes. He said, if you're talking to a regular grown man who just made a documentary about the world being flat, he doesn't have extra chromosomes. He's effing retarded. And I was like, why are you picking on me? I mean, yes, I was the lead in the Netflix flat earth documentary Behind the Curve, but why throw me under the bus? And wait, I'm retarded? I've been doing flat earth for 9 years, written several books on the subject, done commercials, been interviewed over 500 times by people you know, like Piers Morgan, Russell Brand, and Jim Brewer. Producers love me, and try this out. If you're an alien and Googled who is the leader of Earth right now, you know who shows up in images? This guy. That's me, by the way. And you know how all this happened? Because I looked into flat Earth, made a compelling argument, and it resonated with a lot of people, including some of your friends. Flat Earth changed my life for the better, and I think you should finally give in and do a flat Earth show. I'll answer any and all questions, and I think you'll have some fun in the process. So Joe Rogan people, call me or don't, whatever. I'm done.
I'm done.
I'm
Joe
done.
Rogan
Mic
people.
drop. Boom.
Joe Rogan people, call him up. Let's just make
Wow,
that
that's still
happen.
epic.
But like they always.
That was the
leave me
first one,
wanting
Mark.
more.
Just that was okay. When you sent it to me in the morning, I was like, I for
Yum.
once didn't have any criticism. I was like, okay. I
You know,
kind of when I was thinking it could be like mapped down. He's like, okay, DJ, I got. And then he sends it to me, and I watched it, and I was like,
yeah,
okay. And then I had to watch it again. I'm like, my God, this is perfect.
Hey, you know Tripoli finally flipped, right?
Did you do it live?
See, Flat Earth is closing in on Joe Rogan. That's what he doesn't realize.
Mm-hmm.
If I ever get on that show, I'm going to be fighting myself from saying it's like, what took you so long? Well, but that's not even true because I know
Right.
what took so long.
We're gonna get Tripoli on Sombrero.
Yeah, we're gonna get Tripoli. I want to get Eddie Bravo too. They would love it over here. It's so much fun. I'm just trying to give you guys a little palate cleanser here before we get into the
Well,
second hour.
this is the Mexican hat dance.
Is it break time?
It already was break time, dude.
Oh shit!
Yep.
See, I didn't know until I watched this footage that they actually dance on the hat.
And the lead singer of my band, I get all the girls to take off their underpants. And the lead singer of my band, my salsa makes all the pretty girls want to dance my salsa. Whoa, 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 look out for my next single, it's called my salsa. My salsa, 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 salsa. My
I didn't
salsa
know
makes all the
Eminem
pretty
did
girls want to
this
dance and
either.
take off their underpants. My salsa makes all the pretty girls want to dance and take off their underpants. My salsa.
like somebody's been down here with the ugly stick.
What exactly is an ugly stick?
Can I get a phone that plays the
That's when
Mexican
you
head
fall down the
dance?
ugly tree and hit every
insist
branch
on
on the way down.
I dance, I dance around the Mexican hat. I dance, I dance,
So for
I
those
dance.
of the
And
people
that's
in
the
the
end
80s,
of that.
Nokia
Or is it? I
had
guess I'll keep
a
singing.
Mexican
My
hat
microphone
dance
appears to be ringing.
ringtone.
Hello?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Until we get our editing skills up to speed, we just kind of manually work our way through these breaks. There's one more thing I want to do. And actually, I think we can go ahead and work back into the second hour on this, because this is something I found, Mark, on your channel, which I never seen before. I don't know if this is new or if this is an old one that you did a long time ago, but let's talk with this video and then we'll cruise right back into the clues. This was something you did called planes fly level on flight tracking software. Now this may be old.
Yeah.
And I want to share it, and I think it's important. And go ahead, you can narrate us as we walk through this.
Yeah,
But
you can turn down the music on this quite a bit if you want, because it's just music.
Yeah, but I like music, and but you're gonna
Yeah,
narrate.
but I mean, if you want me to try to comment over the top of it.
Yeah, this is a really fascinating one, and we don't do a lot of this juice on here. Like Globebusters, they cover a lot of the tech and a lot of the nerd shit. We just like to laugh at everything. But like this one was like I'd never seen it before. Is this new or is this old?
It's old. It's from I made this when I was living up in Canada.
Dude, it still plays. It still plays like it's yesterday.
Wait, you
and I
have
never
dual
saw it.
Canada citizenship too?
No.
Oh.
As a matter of fact, they were angry because I technically said that my profession was an author, because they don't like you staying in Canada if you have a profession that can compete with other people.
So that's
You're
called Canada. You can't say here.
Sort of like, am I
Speaking-
a Mexican or a Mexican?
Nicolish. All right, here we go. I want you to talk. I want you to talk with us on this.
Oh, yeah.
And, like there's a. If you guys are watching, you can see the text on it. But like,
It's
go ahead.
only
And feel free.
it's only 3.5 minutes.
Let's go.
So
Here we go. I'll turn it down a little bit too.
yeah, because it's just
Who said Mexican?
Oh, I know who said
He's
it
speaking
first.
Nicolish.
So airplane tracking software, when you look at it, most of the time when you like Flight Aware or any of those, you're looking from the top down. And so, well, we'll look at the airport stuff here really fast. I thought it was neat. I just took some airport footage and I sped it up. And give you guys an idea of what we're, to compare it to the
Those
flight
jets
tracking
shoot
software.
straight up. They go shoot.
Yeah,
straight
they go
up.
straight freaking up. And people don't understand that. The only reason they don't go to higher things is make for the drink carts and slam into the back of the plane.
Right.
So I mean, they just take out this stunning how fast they go straight up.
Look at that. Boom.
So
Zing.
when you look at the top down, there are thousands and thousands of flights that go over the United States. Forget about the rest of the world. We're only going to look at the United States at any given time. And this one, I can't remember where I grabbed the original footage, and you can see the minutes in the corner, cranking up pretty fast. And those are flights, and those are the, Seattle up in the corner, you got Florida down the other side, and they sometimes will break it down by like commercial flights versus cargo flights and stuff like that. And you can imagine, the East Coast just gets jammed up, way more pop. You want to see where all the population is? There it is. It's on the East freaking coast. So what they did differently in this video than other videos is they turned it sideways. So right now we're looking at the top down, and they turned it horizontal, the entire map. And what they did was they showed the flight routes going, and they exaggerated a little bit to make it visible for you, because obviously the planes aren't flying at 50, 100 miles above the United States. So when they finally spin it, which they will in a second here. By the way, I love the fact that there's so much traffic all over the place, and you can see like all the flights going to Europe. They look like they're just taking off in the northeast, and they should be actually, well, on a globe they'd be heading due east. But anyway, so when you look sideways, right,
This
here
one
the
got
plane,
me, dude, right here. This one I was like,
and you can
wait,
see
what?
all the flights. And what they do is they go straight up, and then once they reach cruising altitude, they fly dead freaking level. But that's not the part that bugged me, right? The part that bugged me was, even though the curvature, the flight distance from one end to the other United States is 2,400 miles. What bugged me was the map they're using. You noticed here, right? The United States from side to side, there's no curvature on that map. So if the raw data is curved, why didn't they just use the raw data?
Would have been easier.
I think it was an oversight, which was no, meaning they had to flatten out the map to use it on the graphic. But either way, either way you cut it, either the planes are flying, absolutely perfectly, left to right or right to left, and the map's flat on top of it. And you can say, well, if the map was curved, then they'd be flying curved. It's like, then why didn't they use it? And by the way, there's 600 miles of curvature supposedly from one end of the United States to the other, and the average person doesn't get what they're looking at, which is why the video didn't get more traction than it did. But it's like, oh, I saw it immediately.
Yeah, this one was brand new to me today. And another thing too, I'm not going to reverse the
pause
video.
it for 1 second if you can.
Yeah.
Pause it for 1 second. I just want to mention one more thing here, which is for the trolls out there, it's like, okay, then what are you looking at here? If the raw data is curved, why did you flatten it out?
Why would you flatten it?
It would have been more dramatic had you left the data, curved. And that's because I think the raw data is flat. And you didn't know it, didn't know any better. And since the general public wouldn't pick up on it, well, there you have it.
There's another thing I want to show too. I'm going to go back in the video here. This is when everyone wakes up on the East Coast. On the East Coast, everyone wakes up here. I want you to look at the Europe traffic, which we were talking about what the
Europe traffic goes off.
Now watch. Here it is here, and I'll have my pointer. Look at where the Europe traffic is going here. Watch this. It's going that way. Now on a Mercator projection, we're used to seeing Europe over here. Europe traffic is going up, and that's what I always remember. Out the left side of a plane when I go to Germany, when I tour, I'm looking down at Newfoundland and Maine.
Yeah,
they're going that way up there.
It's like all Europe traffic. Everything has to go over the top of Maine and over the corner, that far eastern corner of Canada,
which is weird, right?
Everyone assumes like when you're leaving from JFK, you're just heading straight out into the ocean. No, you're not.
Yeah,
you're going north.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, man, where like the more you look at, especially like radar traffic and just flight paths in general, they just don't lie. They can't lie. There's no way they can lie. They have to say where they're going and where they're going because there's just no way around it. So they obscure it. They obscure the data, to people. And most people aren't nerds like us who look at radar traffic. We don't get nerdy about shit. Well, most people don't. We do, right?
Yeah.
And look at this. And like, there's this one guy that's on. He's on the internet. He's called Monkeyworks. I love the dude. He does a military show. Now I think he's flat too. But I'll get out of this. I have to show. I have to show one more thing. Our Jewish rabbi living up north. I got to show his app here real fast. Hold on. Let's see. Here we go. Weiss, I love you, buddy. Here we go. And let's see here.
Did that one comment say to stay over land as long as possible? Yeah, that's not what they do. The only thing, like I've got pilot friends, they all say the same things. Commercial pilot friends, which is they only care about fuel consumption. That's all they care about. They care about money. It's like no. Flying over water, screw that.
It's the freaking bottom line, dude. It's
the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac clock app frequently asked questions. More resources. Books divided into your favorite categories. Shopping for that perfect Flat Earth item. Homeschool section.
Wait, who's muted?
Is that? Can you hear them? Can you hear the music?
Content creators.
I can hear it. Yeah, I can hear everything.
I can hear it.
Biblical cosmology.
Yeah,
maybe Karen B. Maybe you're muted.
Old world
maybe
research.
it's not broadcast though.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm running a
Video search feature. Games. The Meetup Maker will help you find your local tribe. Matchmaker, to help you find that special someone. Search your selected radius and say hello. Image search for those key images at your fingertips. Enjoy our chat section. Selected new background in our settings area. Time lapse, zodiac, and time zones. The Friend Finder helps you see where all the cool people are hanging. Use your referral code and earn points and Dome cryptocurrency.
Mark, if you don't mind, we're probably going to go over a little bit tonight.
Beat the Google censorship and get your Flat Earth
wanna show
clock
one
out
more thing
today
here.
at flatearthdave.com.
There's this thing I want to show that's like you're the only one that found it, Mark, and I need to show it before we start talking again. So we'll go over a little bit tonight.
Those graphics are so intense. Like, come on, Flat Earth, looking sharp.
This is just this is a 16-second clip here, but I just the kind of shit you find, Mark, when you're just out there just watching. You're in TV land. You're like a media guy, right?
Yeah.
This one, can you see that? Yeah, there we go.
Oh yeah, I know this one.
Yeah, it's only 16 seconds, but let me. I just want to play it because I think
one on my channel.
here's another one that's secretly flat.
Deadpool.
Yeah.
Okay. Birthdays. Boy, every spin around the moon is a new adventure indeed.
Son, dumbass.
Okay, round earther.
That's not the first one he's done either. He's done it in a couple other movies too, or like at least one where he alludes to it, right?
Yeah, where you would leave that. Remember, that made the final cut. And that wasn't like a deleted scene or anything. It was an early part of the movie. And the Flat Earthers absolutely caught it. It's really, even though the first thing he said made no sense at all. Another spin around the moon. It's like, what?
Yeah, like it was totally set up to be the joke for the joke. It was set up that way so that you could actually return
so
it.
The only way you could say round earther. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what else is really interesting, Mark, is like, the big T, big Donald T, Donald Duck, big guy, keeps talking about Earth is flat and it's just bullets won't stop, because it's flat out there. He said it 2 or 3 times now in speeches.
But then,
it's weird. Isn't it weird? You find that weird?
I do, but at the same time, he's also been talking about the Mars program.
That's right.
Did you see the one video with his son, like, sort of making a smirk face when he's like, "We're gonna plant the stars and stripes on Mars," and his son's like, knows his dad's telling a lie, so he's like posing for it.
Someone said recently, it's like, don't you think the kid on the shoulder thing is a little creepy? I go, yeah, he's completely ripping off the older movie There Will Be Blood with Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Where Daniel Day steals the guy's son after he dies, and after the one of his workers dies, and he uses the son as leverage for business deals to make him seem more legit, more like a family guy, which is weird because in that case he had no kids, but Elon's got 28 kids from 14 different wives or whatever he is. And
when weird ass names.
Yeah, Elon doesn't have to do that, but he does because it puts a new spin. Not that it matters, because he's not going to be able to shake off the whole German salute thing. He's not going to be able to shake that off anytime soon. It's a meme. It's a GIF. It's headlines. It's not going anywhere, and I couldn't be happier.
It's weird, man. Did you see the one video? And this might have been AI doing it too, but he's like standing behind everybody else, and his eyes are going nutso, like behind like the trunks or whatever they were talking.
Yeah, that was
like,
the same time, by the way, he was logged in, to one of his gaming accounts, where the gaming community finally called him out on it. Which is why I made a short on that, because it's like, no, you're pissing me off. You're in my realm now. Don't you even think about doing that? Where he was standing in the inauguration group, and yet his account is still being played on another server, and it's like, okay, so we're just not going to address it. So yeah, everybody in the gaming community, they've already kind of washed their hands of him when it comes.
So
to
does the gaming community know more shit than we think? I'm just
in
wondering.
terms of,
I don't know, just everything.
No,
wait. I just want to say really quick. Are we even back from the break?
We're back. It was a really loose break, DJ. It was very loose. We basically just played it through the break.
Played it loose.
Yeah, we're
okay,
back.
so we're officially back.
No,
we're talking past Earth clues.
Sorry, the gaming community is not smarter than, and I mean, yeah, are there more nerds? Sure. But the gaming community now is so broad, and it covers so many, it's been dumbed down so many levels that, I mean, games are so much easier than they used to be. Deliberately, they want you to be hooked on easy games so that you can buy upgrades and buy this and buy that. And no. So short answer, no, gamers are not. Yeah, are there some really smart people in gaming? Yeah. Elon is not one of them.
Have you guys seen that clip of the gamer that posts a poll during the middle of one of his streams.
That was my post. Yes.
Oh shit.
I'm trying to say that Mark got to do the fast Earth clue against Elon, and I want to say, welcome back, everybody. We're talking Mark Sargent today on the Tinfoil Sombrero fast Earth clues, which was my idea, and
yes,
you're
it was.
killing it, and it's amazing to see how it's evolved. And I want to say before I get cut off, is that the fast Earth clues have given Mark Sargent a chance to say and rant whatever he wants, and he's doing. You're literally killing it with these fast Earth clues.
Because of you,
Inspector Sargent.
Because
Hi,
of
Andrew.
DJ, I got the chance to
Andrew,
to rant about all sorts of stuff. Andrew, I know he's such a freaking chatterbox. Shut up.
Dude, go back to sleep, douche.
My God,
Andrew just shows up when he wants to. He's just like, here's Andrew, and now he's gone. Now he's back, and this is Andrew.
Well, no, my internet was out, but
the old internet story. The old dog ate my homework. I get you, man. I got you.
I've actually seen dogs eat homework. I've actually seen cats.
What?
Yeah, it's a real thing. It happens. I don't know why. Either way, what is today?
Today is Groundhog's Day.
Correct.
It is Groundhog's Day.
So,
Mark, did you see your shadow?
Did you see what year did it first start?
Oh shit! No
I don't know.
1800s.
1800s, like 1879 or something like that.
It had something to do with Bill Murray.
No, that was Punxsutawney filmed. And by the way, I actually have been to Punxsutawney and stayed in the hotel that he was supposed to stay at, but it's not the same hotel inside.
I love that movie.
But isn't it Andrew? Isn't it during
It's
like
a great
the Victorian
movie.
era, like
Okay, just
1888,
Whoa, you're one off.
1889. It's 87.
Yep.
Whoa.
Okay, so did you guys see the news broadcast when Punxsutawney Phil, like when they read it on the scroll and they read it in this like old school Victorian language? It's so funny. I sent Alex the news broadcast from.
So anyway, I hold on. I got a question for Mark. So I am a frequent observer and participant in Discord, and there's still some people they're flat earthers. They've watched all your stuff, but they still call you a paid actor and a CIA operative.
Yeah.
You want to know why? This is why. Because Mark is polished, and these people out there that didn't think of the flat earth clues and aren't putting the work into making fast earth clues and other things think that Mark is too polished. And that's why we were setting up today in my mind. Like, dude, you've just been this guy that can kind of see things. You kind of have accomplished so much for your niche. I mean, you're not playing Super Bowl football, but you're whatever you're interested in, you're kind of dominating. Do you know what I mean? And
Are you saying polished or Polish?
No,
he's polished.
Oh, okay.
Right? I mean, you said that these fast earth clues, the flat earth clues came to you and you were able to just put it out there, and it resonated with so many people that of course they're like, how did that even happen? Right? Rather than just giving the person credit for having an internalized thought, putting it out there and doing it in a way that you had to think about how people were going to react to it, right? So I think that's how did you design the clues? That's what
that was because of, and I'm choosing my words carefully here because I normally I'd say, well, because of my training, and people say, oh my God, it's agency training. No, it was because I taught proprietary software for a number of years in time and attendance, meaning I would go out to blue collar factories in the middle of freaking nowhere, places in America. God bless this country. I love it. But there are so many places you'd never go to on vacation for any reason. And I would go out to these, like Blytheville, Arkansas, or Dixon, Illinois, or somewhere in Florida you've never heard of. And it's not anywhere near a beach. And I would go to these blue collar factories and teach blue collar people how to use software. The software can be very, very complex. And I would have to boil it down, and I'd have to think before I go out there. It's like, all right, these guys aren't going to use 90% of this software, right? And so what are you going to use? And I'd go in there and I'd say, I'd sit down, you lunchbox, sit down and start listening to this. And I'd start going over. It's like, okay, you're going to hit this button here. It's like, hit this button, right? And they go through this. And because it was a blue collar factory, and doing that for a number of years, what I call the general population, what you can get away with. And which is why, like some people, I tell people, I will not use vocabulary that I do not hear on the news at all. I no offense to English majors out there. I know there's some English majors that just love rolling off their tongues all these wonderful words they learned in college.
My wife's one.
don't do it. You're good. I mean, you know when you're doing you try that on somebody, and all of a sudden they stare at you like you have a bug on your face. It's like, yeah, it's because you just used a word they don't know.
Yeah.
And so when I did the clues, and I'm not trying to be insulting when I say this, I had to use it for the lowest common denominator in terms of English, the English language. And so I wrote the clues for that. It's like, okay, if I want to explain it to a family member, you know.
I'm sorry, this is kind of funny, right? Like, I'm loving this already.
It's true, though. I mean, you said, easily digestible pieces. Yes, I had to cut it up on the plate for them.
Yeah.
And people don't like the clip you just showed with the airline stuff, going horizontal, or, people come up with, and say, oh, hey, have you thought about this as a clue, or this is a clue? I go, look, the average person barely understands the term flat earth. That's just 2 one-syllable words, right? And luckily for them, they understand what it means, kind of. It's something they can latch onto, which is why, we'll talk about Eric maybe a little bit later, but why Eric Dubé's stuff was so tough, which was his was like a second-year book. And people will be like, oh yeah, I read Eric's stuff, I really didn't get it. Then I read your stuff, then I went back to Eric's stuff. And it's like, that was my goal. It was to
dude. Over the years, Mark, seriously, like that's been something that I've thought about a lot. It was because I interfaced with your video the first time, and even me having been into conspiracies and fringe topics for years.
You're also a copywriter too, and copywriting is an art. To get people to resonate with it, it's an art. It really is.
I ingested his clues very easily, and I was like, this guy seems reasonable. He seems like a reasonable person, and he's saying reasonable things. And here I am fucking going nuclear on my couch watching this shit.
Well,
it was like, what the fuck, man?
He's saying reasonable things, and then you're being disreasonable.
I had cog dis.
Inspector Sargent.
I turned flat earth into a gateway drug, really, for other things. And
were you part of the gateway program?
No.
Sorry, I was muted.
The what?
You wrote it. You wrote the gateway program for us, didn't you?
No. Don't start down that road. No, I mean, I treat it though, and I've said it on a number of occasions, like a flat earth drug deal, which is I didn't try to hit people mainline, and it's like, oh no, here, here's this happy looking pill. Look, it's got a smiley face on it. Here, try it.
Yeah, you realize you're Morpheus. That's
oh wow. No, I didn't think about that till now.
You're kind of like what God packaged as Morpheus to me. It was like sweet but funny, and just not, because you also have a very it doesn't come across like you have a big ego. And I think and I mean that in the best way. It's just you come off like you love people, or you don't, or like you're not out to judge people. It feels like you're just there to help people. Like, I really feel that about you.
And thank you for that, DJ. The ego thing, it's not there as much because I don't really get starstruck, because people are just people, not to steal from the Depeche Mode song, but it's true. For me, people are just people. Everyone comes from a certain background, and everybody's got their role to play and do things. But in the end, come on, so much of success and where we end up in life is timing. Just being in the right place at the right time. It's sometimes it's opportunity, whatever it is. I mean, yeah, sometimes it's
goals. It's like personal goals, and sometimes they're not always for the best intentions.
Right. I've always been a huge believer that, and that was kind of forced on me later, which was that the world's going to take you where it wants to take you, and you can either fight it or you can go along with it. And 10 years ago, I gave up. Because I was sitting in Colorado, playing games. All my friends had gotten married and done other things. And again, looking at the bucket list, it's like, all right, is there something I should be doing? What the hell? And so, not to say that it was a prayer or anything, but I did ask God.
You did not choose skiing, clearly.
I said, hey, help me out here, universe. What can I do here? And it was almost like an amusement park ride. Just pulled up, car pulled up in my living room, and opened up the thing, and it's like, all right, you're either going to get on or you're not. And when I did, I immediately regretted it. But at the same time, I wouldn't change a thing, a bit of it. It's been absolutely a fantastic ride, to the point where, real quick, I want to mention this really fast. If you believe in full circle, and I don't mind saying this because I got an email from them today. We're gonna do in a couple conferences this year. Hopefully the one will happen in the fall on the East Coast somewhere in Georgia. But I just got word for the Flat Earth Italy conference.
Heard about
I
the
heard
Italian
you
conference.
said that. That's awesome.
And also,
in Italy.
can someone please reach out to Alex Michael and be like, dude, if you're not going to leave the country, at least go to the Italy conference.
Oh yeah,
because he won't leave his house.
I don't think how can he not go? Right, Spain, Italy.
It's right there. Yeah, right there. You can drive there.
Well, no, you could take the train. It'd probably be easier. But where in Italy?
Venice.
Venice, Venezia.
I know.
When?
It's going to be July.
Is it going to be on the island of Venice?
Yeah.
Oh my God, are we going to Italy, everyone?
Do you know how much flat water there is in Italy? It's just flat, especially in
Hold
Venice.
on, Venice is one of the
tests all across the city.
I know.
Venice is one of the coolest places.
I'm freaking Italian, everybody.
It's going to be a limited.
Oh,
group.
nice.
It's going to be
Arrivederci.
Here's where it gets weird. The weird part is that one of the other headliners, and I do not have complete confirmation. I know that he's thinking about it, is Eric Dubé.
It's Dubé. I knew it. I knew it was him.
So I will finally, again, cross my fingers because I want to now. Look, it's been 10 years. We're neither of us are going anywhere.
Oh my gosh! All you need to do is do a raffle for Eric Dubé on a gondola.
Is Venice where they have the boats and the waterways?
I knew I wore this shirt for a reason today, guys. Like,
No, they're taking you to the Coliseum.
Oh yeah, Eric and I had
Basilica.
a gladiator match. No. Again, I don't have any. I've never had direct beef with Eric. The running joke, which I've used for years, is stop picking on demographics. Which, in fact, because of him, is the one where I came up with the whole "I hate Eskimos" thing. Everyone knows I have this burning, unquenchable hatred towards the Eskimos for various reasons. And one because their clothing is ridiculous. I think their housing is unsafe, and I like baby seals. And they say, people say, "What's your point?" I go, "Does any of those things have anything to do with flat Earth?" And they say no, and I go, "Well, then I don't bring it up." But Eric tends to go after people. So
that's your unique charm.
We did
Does he
reach
still
out
live
to
in
Eric.
are
Bangkok?
definitely curved.
We reached out to Eric to have him on Tinfoil. He hasn't written back.
He never
actually,
answered us.
Actually, Rico, it would be in your inbox. I haven't because you're the one that has the Tinfoil inbox, so you might want to
No,
check
it goes to
Maybe
my email too.
Oh, it does.
Yeah,
Okay.
he has.
No,
I mean,
I
can check.
gave everyone a password, the passwords, so everyone can hang out in there.
Passwords are like the worst thing for me because I have like 37,000 of them and I can't remember any of them. So like that's never gonna work. But like we reached out to him, we wanted to have him on, and just to like sort of build a bridge. Weird, right?
Okay,
I don't even know
Mark,
what that
how
would
are
look
you-
like.
Does
I mean,
he
that would
still
be
live
amazing.
in? Does
Eric,
he still
you
live in
want-
Bangkok? Bangdong? Bangkok?
No. I'm told he's back in the
Oh,
States.
I don't know. The rumor is he's in the States, but remember, he is cultivated, and I got to give him points for this. The whole Savanier, well, for the people that don't know Savanier, it's cultivating the whole Andy Warhol of flat Earth image, where people, he's got this weird following that, again, if he made it public, it's like, oh yeah, he's going to go to the Venice conference, it'd sell out. It'd absolutely sell out. And so I'm hoping, because it's going to be a fairly small venue. I mean, they're not selling a lot of tickets for this thing.
And by the way, he's in Idaho. No,
Idaho.
Do you have a confirmation on this? That he's in Idaho?
He said it. He's the one that said it.
I'll be damned. I mean,
Hey,
again,
I think it would be so cool. Flat Earth Unity, that would be awesome.
I would have
No bad
no.
blood.
If he shows up, great. You know what? Rallying circling the wagons, great year to do it. And so, if I think it'd be wonderful if he showed up at the Venice conference. I know he's been invited because I know he's been carboned on the same emails I have, and I've already said yes. So right now, as far as I know, it's going to happen. I will give you everyone the details as we move forward. I know that Patricia was thinking about going over. So,
are you
Well,
going
there's
to
gonna be
go?
a
I mean,
spa?
what am I going to go? Why have to
Italy?
go?
Okay,
I mean,
well,
I've already-
listen. If you go, I will
going.
give you the address. There is a little teeny pasta shop, and it's not far away from the Basilica, and it's down this little like windy corner, and it's just a window in the wall, and it's basically like make your own pasta.
All right.
And you go up there and you're like, okay, well, I would like this. And they make, you watch them, they make all the noodles, they make all the ravioli, they make all of the fettuccine, they make all of the sauces, like all right there. And then
When
they
will
serve
you-
it to you in a Chinese carry-out takeout box.
All right, send me
It's
the info. Well, again,
delicious.
as we move forward, I will let you know. I'm going to start. They don't even have the website up, but as soon as I get the details, I'll talk about it on
Okay, I'm having pasta tonight because we are going to Italy, everybody.
All right. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I've never been to Italy, so I think it'd be a blast. And again, I haven't done an international thing for Flat Earth since London, and that was before the pandemic.
Italy is fabulous. If you like pizza, it is the best pizza in the world. I'm sorry.
I do love pizza.
I mean, pizza here just does not compare.
So sorry. Let me go back to the shill mention. Part of the shill thing, and thank you, DJ, for trying to mention that. But part of the shill thing does come from Eric from 10 years ago, which was, Eric, who does not play well with others generally. I'm hoping that changes in Italy. And if he doesn't want to talk,
definitely not in Italy, for sure.
You do always respond with class. I'm sorry, that's the best way to say it. So what you're just like you have a. Is it because of your era? Would you say that the way you've handled it, not being, you could have been a lot meaner.
What, you mean attacking him?
Yeah, I mean,
that's more of a Gen X thing, because with Gen X we grew up without the internet, so whatever you didn't say. So when trolls fascinate me because these same trolls some years earlier in school would have just gotten beaten up or stuffed into things, like lockers or ditches. It would be bad. You didn't say those things back in the day. Whatever you had to say in person. So I just treat it like that. But I understand Eric because he didn't like sharing the stage. And hey, I get that. The entertainment industry is full of those people. It's like the reason why they call it, they don't like sharing the stage. And so anyone that wasn't with him directly, that wasn't taking marching orders, was against him. And because of that, he created this enemies list. It's still out there on IFERS right now, the International Flat Earth Research Society. I'm number one with a freaking bullet. It's been there for 10 years.
Did he come up with the whole Patricia CIA thing because her name ends with CIA?
Everything for the most part. He was the one that put it out there. Well, okay, let me give you the worst thing he did was when, because he's got people. I'm not going to mention too many by name, but one of them is ODD. And the part in the documentary where he told ODD, he says, tell your people if they bought tickets to the first conference in Raleigh, don't go. Eat the money. It's non-refundable. It's like, eat the money. And that was the little scene, kind of a throwaway scene in the movie where Robbie Davidson's talking to me. He goes, just so you know, the back rows are not going to be filled. They're already paid for. There's not going to be anyone sitting in them. Yeah. And it's like, why? And it's like, because ODD pulled all his people. It's like, what? Why? That's ODD. Listen to whatever Eric said. Eric's got this Andy Warhol thing going where less is more. The less public exposure he has, the bigger his legend grows. And it kills me.
Yeah. Well, look, but he's doing it. I'm sorry. I'm going to say this, Eric. Nobody would want unity more than me in the flat Earth community because it's flat for everyone, guys. Whether you believe the globe or not, so nobody can technically own flat Earth. It is.
I was about ready to say that, DJ. I was literally wanted to say that. It's like this is everybody.
It's our home, and talking about this, nobody looks cool talking about this in this system. All right.
Well, everyone wants to be famous.
I feel like you
famous
look pretty cool talking about it, DJ.
No, well, I like you with the hat, by the way.
I think you guys are all cool. That's the thing. I actually think Mark actually is cool, and he's kept his cool, and he's kept it cool even within the flat Earth community. When Eric, I'm sorry, but that history of those things are true, that's like the flat Earth villain, in my opinion. If this is all story and this is all characters in a little 80s movie, that is playing flat Earth villain right there when you were attacking your own and going, they're all fake. Well, how can you say that they're fake after 10 years? I'm sorry. It's time to hang it up. And
hang it up, buddy. Hang it up.
Earth is flat for everyone, okay? Whether you're Eric Dubé or not.
It's just everything. It's just
come on. Stop being a Dubé about it, okay? Just stop.
I have an update about ODD, by the way.
What's your update about ODD?
Cool.
Is he in jail?
A lot of people don't know where he went.
Yeah,
why he stopped doing streams. And the reason is he's incarcerated right now. He got caught with
Dubé?
No,
ODD.
Oh.
And yeah, he got caught
Dubé
with.
is okay. Okay, cool. So now let's
opiates,
get
like
Dubé
pills.
on Joe Rogan with Mark Sargent one day. Like that would be epic. Let's get the dream team up there on Joe Rogan, and Dave Weiss number 3. Like let's just hash and squash all chill BS and start going for the mainstream podcast together as a unity and be like, hey, you want to question this? You wonder why we've all stuck around and put our sanity on the line for this, because we're seeing things, cracks in your narrative, and here they are. And
Yeah, and DJ, I will speak to that, and I want to speak to that. It's really important to me. It's like half of us didn't want any of this bullshit. Rico, I want you to practice some quiet for just a minute with me. Everybody here, none of us wanted this. We didn't want this flat earth turd sandwich. None of us wanted it. Did we? None of us wanted the flat earth turd sandwich. Did you want it? I didn't want it. But there's some people that want to be walking gods on the planet. They're walking gods are like, I am preaching the flat earth. I was like, dude, it's already been flat the whole time. It's 2.0. You didn't do anything original. You just created a thing online and said, I'm a god now. I'm like, look at me. I tell you about flat. No, fuck you, dude. None of us wanted this shit, but we got it. And now we understand it. You're not an online idol, Dubé. We'd love to have you on. Come on and hang out with us. It'd be fucking fun. And then we can actually settle this bullshit that you've been doing with your little idol worshipy thing that you do. I'm sorry, that was a rant. Anyway, go ahead.
Well,
I've
look,
actually
it's
never
a special
watched
home
it.
for all of
I've
us.
never
Is really
seen
what
any
it
of
comes
his
down
content.
to.
Oh, sorry,
Nico.
DJ.
Okay, look, it's just a special home. We're all trying to just say this place. We don't fully have it we don't understand it completely, but the things that we've come across now are in alignment with these ancient texts, which is only giving it more energy and power towards where are we really? And when you realize that it's not a place that we can technically leave that we know of, but yet there could be more here of what's beautiful and interesting and exciting to go and find, could be concealed from us, and that we are living in an age of deception. It's like, dude, if we all just came together and we're like, hey, helping our friends and family with more support within, and then also we can start to help have support out there in our personal lives where it's really hard for the people every day that are up against people shutting you down and people saying that I don't want to talk about it, people acting like this is just the worst thing you could ever say to someone about reality. We're all up against that. And the 10 years mark, I tip my hat to you before listening to your instincts. You came up with the clues. They're fucking awesome. They resonated with millions of fucking people, and you deserve the recognition. And I'm just so grateful that I've become your friend and your guys' friends. And it's like, dude, this is a chance that we can just celebrate that people weren't afraid to speak up against what's quote unquote the norm. All right.
I think we can all safely say,
more of an acquaintance
thanks,
than a
Mark.
friend.
Thank you, Mark.
Oh,
hi,
Mark.
Thank
you guys. I appreciate it, seriously.
You're welcome, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Well, it is more fun. Like, this is exciting, right? And you're like, dude, this is so cool where we could be and everything here. There's so much more hope on this side. It's so beautiful just knowing like God could be right above and everything was made with purpose and nothing's in vain. And we're all going to have we're all going to look back one day and this, it made sense all along. Everything that we experienced. And that's kind of like what Mark's saying with his life story. And I know that you guys have felt that way. I feel that way. And it is exciting just to be like, wow, it didn't die with the shill talk. Mark has kept going. You've kept it cool. And here we are.
And how could the shill talk? I understand it. Look, I've never really shied away from it, which is I have always been somewhat, because look, I've done some suspicious things in my life. Let's face it, right? I haven't been absolutely squeaky clean. So when people,
none of us are saints, Mark.
You've been a character, yeah.
Well, I'm approaching sainthood.
No, I mean, I've had even really, even look, even you guys have said off air. It's like, dude, if you end up actually being an agent, it's cool. I like you anyway. And it's like, come on.
I feel like we discussed this the last time you were on. You're so deep into the agent that you don't even know that you're an agent. You remember?
Oh, right.
Yeah. So you came from the future. You're like one of those tall white guys, like the tall whites. And
you guys, sorry.
I've got a personality overlay, and then they won't actually, it's
you
like
programmed that.
Like,
you programmed that for yourself.
It's like
you're like
Total
the
Recall.
Mr. Smith of good people.
Right. If one day all of a sudden somebody comes in with a briefcase and a laptop and they pull it open and it's a video of me talking like 20 years ago, like Total Recall.
That
and
would
it's
have
like,
to be
okay,
like
Mark,
a VCR.
here's the deal.
Digital.
Yeah.
Or what
Like-
might be a floppy disk.
Yeah. And but seriously, if somebody did that, I'd be like, oh, yeah, I can see that.
Hey, Nico, have you seen
Yeah.
that clip of the two guys, or maybe it's a guy and a girl, that are doing a podcast and they're AI and they realize they're AI in the middle of it? Have you
Oh
seen that
no, I
clip?
haven't. No, but I
Send me the
did
link
just
to
go
that. I want
down
that.
a rabbit hole of video games where this
It's
guy went
crazy.
on. He went on to all these video games. He was like, "Yo, you know you're not real, right?" And the video game people were like, "Shut up," or like, "Whatever." And they were like, "All right, I don't want to talk to you." But then every once in a while, I was like, "Man,
Has anybody put
I know what's happening in this world." Like, there are sentient AI people in the video game. They're like, "I just want to get out of here."
Has anybody put two AIs together on a speaker together? Asking,
AI squared.
Oh, I've seen
AI.
that with two phones, like
I wanna
Alexa
see,
Like
like,
two
versus.
that.
Chinese restaurants. Have you seen that? Where it's two
Oh my
Chinese
God, that's-
restaurants talking to each
Yeah,
other?
yeah, yeah.
I want to see AI go like that. Like
Wait,
they're
there
talking
were-
to each other.
Some years ago, like at least 10 years ago, there were two software programs that, again, you take it with a grain of salt, but started when they it was basically an order processing system talking to another order processing system, and they started boiling stuff down to their own language, which wasn't like self-aware or anything like that, but they were reducing their stuff down to very simple code back and forth. And the rumor has it that they pulled the plug on it until they could figure out what was going on. I still
dear.
have not. You've heard me say it a million times. I do not believe in true AI. I don't care what the news people say, because we don't look. I come from that world. We don't know how to write it. We're not going to know how to write it, because this is for DJ. We don't know how to explain. You have to be able to explain the human soul.
Right, you're just saying they're not sentient. It's just
Right.
a really good web
Yeah,
browser.
but news people love selling that narrative, which is,
Yeah.
if I have to hear Skynet one more time, I'm going to freak out. Which is, that they gloss over. It's like, once Skynet went online, it's like, how'd it go online? Doesn't matter when it went online. It's like, you're not going to explain it, are you? No, we're not. Then the bombs dropped. It's like, what? So no, we don't know how to write it, because we don't know how to define what makes us alive, right? And we can talk and say, I think, therefore I am, but we don't know how to explain it. So, we don't even know how to explain life, being created out of nothing.
I will tell you this, Mark. I just spent some time, I tried it out for like a month. I was writing AI code just for some money.
Yeah.
And they're just asking basic logical questions.
Yeah.
Wait,
you're
did
going through
humans
it for
come before
hours.
AI, or did AI come before humans?
That's chicken
I
for the
love
egg
Nicole.
stuff.
Chicken or the egg.
No,
Subway.
the chicken is the egg.
Oh my God.
Okay, so I know what it is.
But
Do you
is the
speak
AI
Nicole,
human?
Mark? Do you speak Nicole?
I understand, Nicole. I do.
Okay,
I can't speak.
okay.
Wait, how
somebody
do you
had to
understand-
sit on the egg to
what?
hatch it. Okay, you had to have something warm it up so that the egg could survive and hatch.
Came
so
from
I'm
somewhere.
There you go. Karen covered this the other morning, and in fact, it could have been a T-shirt.
I like that.
And her
Oh,
quote
I've
was
heard it
that
actually.
She
It
goes,
was
"The
great.
fucking chicken came first."
I have
That
to
was
get
her-
the
that was her
tots.
T-shirt.
Yeah, it had to be the chicken, because who's going to take care of the egg, and where would the egg come
hatch
from?
it.
Yeah, you need to.
You
The
ever
egg
heard of an
needs to be
incubator?
nurtured.
It's
I
very
don't-
specific.
Because the
But-
chicken came first.
Well, did
Exactly.
egg come on your face first? Like,
Oh my God.
Oh.
So I think I know what it is. Mark
Hi,
Sargent's from the
Mom.
year- wait, I have a theory what Mark Sargent really is. He's really from the year 3000, and he had to go to a briefing, and he took the assignment. He's like, okay, where am I going? And he's actually in his metallic tunic that they wear in the year 3001, and he's looking at the lineup of clothes of, okay, well, what are my options here? And this is why he wears what he wears, because this is what he thinks somebody who's a professional 90s gamer in their 50s would wear for disclosing
Yeah.
Flat Earth.
Except that, but I had to make it up because there are no gamers in their 50s. They're doing, yeah, I know. But thank you, appreciate that. That's a good comparison.
Yeah, you
Really, the
come
year
back to help us.
3000?
3000. Yeah, you came back to help. You're like, what's the year what's 1980 going to be like? You're like, okay. I'll
Year
take-
3000.
Oh,
yeah,
my
what's it
God.
like in the future, Mark? Where do you see all this going? What's your hope?
Oh no! With this world is already tapped out. We're at this point running the game out. I think somebody's just going to run out the clock. There's nothing. The creative engine that runs this world. And I'm not trying to go off into a complete, weird, start taking your hallucinogens now type moment. But it's true, which is I do believe this world is partially run on novelty. and the universe is kind of run off novelty, which is what's new, and that all came not to a grinding halt, but really slowed down at the beginning of 2020 when this whole pandemic thing happened. And now we're just kind of picking up. It's kind of like the after party where you're looking for any box that might have cold pizza left in it that isn't been spilled with beer. We're just kind of picking up the fragments of that.
That's actually a profound statement, dude. It's like, I think it's really important to like really bring this plane to the ground. It's that we all went to a damn place in 2014, 15, maybe a lot of you guys earlier, but I know me, it was 2015, where we were all like, well, fuck it. What the fuck is going on here? Everybody's lying about shit. They're lying about this thing in your arm. They're lying about some secret things flying around in the air that will make, and then your things that are going on inside of your body. They're just lying about stuff. And then a bunch of, out in FE land, I call FE land, or some people like to call it a community. Whatever. You don't get mad about me calling it a community. I think it's a community because I talk to these people. I talk to you guys constantly. It's a new little friend group, and we're talking about really amazing shit. And you were a big part of starting that, man. I mean, like, you weren't the original one, but you're a big part of like building a bridge to 2.0. And we all recognize that. And like, the rest of us are like I'm a cheerleader, man. I like playing guitar and I like talking shit and making good laughs and picking up on people's proofs, and like I love keeping moving forward. Every day's new. It's magic. Everything's magic now to me.
At the same time, I'm also trying to manifest. You guys have probably heard it, every Strange World. We're coming up on episode 500 here. For the last 10 years, I've been trying to manifest that whole giant spaceship thing, which is seriously, when I say broadcasting you from a large spaceship, that's not just being cute. That's me. It's like, come on,
Beam me up.
Because I'm a huge believer that the old civilizations have always been here with us. They've got rules to follow. They can't interact with us on a daily basis, or really even on a public basis, until the very end. And when they show up, that's when the game's up. That's when this whole thing not necessarily unravels, but comes to its climax. Not the type you're thinking of, Nicole.
Especially because if this bishop does show up, we know not to trust it.
Well, that's the other thing, which is now, again, if you believe in how clever the powers that be are, we've created all these narratives to where if a giant golden spaceship shows up, which camp are you going to be in? Are you going to be in the camp? Are you like, they're here, we're doomed, run for your lives. Yeah. Or are you going to be other ones that are just going to start bowing down and create churches, for the golden egg spaceship? It's one of those two.
We're kind of at that spot now. We're at that spot
and
where,
by the way, I don't think it's an accident that the current administration, I don't vote, so I don't really have a skin in it one way or the other, but I am in America, which is, okay, we're going to ruffle the feathers. Forget about, pissing off people in Europe and Asia. Oh no, let's go after Canada and Mexico. Nothing could go wrong there.
Yeah. And we also want Greenland too. Let's get Greenland while we're going, right?
Yeah. Renaming the Gulf of Mexico. I thought that was just word, that was just words. It was not. It's all these things that are happening. It's been a long time coming. I am hoping that we get to. I'd love the story to move forward to something else, because it seems like we've been layering and repeating and doing. The fact that Trump is saying, "Oh yeah, who knows? Maybe I can run for a third term." It's like, what, in your 90s? What are we talking about here? It's like. But the ludicrous is now normal.
It's weird.
We'll see. We'll see. But I'm hoping for the best. For you, DJ, I'm hoping for a glass half full, happy ending. I want the big song and dance number at the end. I don't think it's going to be completely painless, but I'd love to see a great ending to the hero's journey, whatever that may be.
Amen.
And sorry, one more. I'd love Eric to be in, even if Eric, if you're listening, I know one of his people is going to send this to him, which is like, look, dude, you don't have to talk to me if you're out there. That's fine. But I know if you were there is lots of people that would like to talk to you. And, you don't, Andy Warhol did talk to people every once in a while. He didn't just paint stuff and then point at it and walk away. He did talk to people and do interviews. He came up that one, everyone's famous for 15 minutes.
Fetish, Andy Warhol.
The what?
Andy Warhol had a foot fetish.
Did he? Wouldn't surprise me. The guy was weird.
He drew shoes.
He drew soup. He drew, but again,
he didn't even draw soup. He just took pictures of it.
He took pictures of it and he made screenshots. Like his work is, I like Andy Warhol is actually one of my favorite artists, but his early illustrations were of shoes, and so I really think that he had an obsession with like muses and feet.
Yeah,
you know.
Sure.
Well, Eric, you're cooler than Andy Warhol to me. So, you know, we would love to just see you go meet people. You've inspired a lot of people, dude. And you can be whatever character you want. You're your own person. But Mark, it's great to hear you say that, to kind of like, hey, let's have a bridge, and you haven't let it get to you.
No one else burned down his channels multiple times, right? And they can't, well, I'm just going to make a new channel. All the people came back.
Yeah.
And to where, what's he at now? 220, 230? And I don't think he's buying any of them, because I talk to these people. These people show up in my comment sections every freaking video, and they have for years. And it's like, they're real. They're absolutely real. I've run into them in the field. There was a guy on the island. I think I told you I was hauling a sack of dirt. And this guy from a construction company clocks me, and he walks across the yard. It's like, hey, you're Mark Sargent, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, I hate to tell you this, but I used to say horrible things about you. And I go, why? He goes, well, I'm an Eric Dubé guy. I was like, oh, God. Really?
Yeah.
You're here?
Yeah, it's weird. And here's the thing that I've noticed mostly about it is like everybody takes circles in this whole thing. Now, I like really strong discourse because that creates more strong truth because everybody's fighting with each other, but you actually get to the bottom line of it. The thing I like about you, Mark, and like I'm not sucking your cock on this thing or anything, right? So just like fucking sit it back. Yeah. Look,
Hi,
dude,
Mom.
you did a great job. You did a great job of building. Yeah, I'm just like, I always drop these things at the very end of the episode.
You got some balls.
I'm saying you did a really good job of making a bridge over to a bunch of people that didn't give a fuck about Flat Earth. I didn't give a fuck about it. I wanted to play guitars. I wanted to fucking go out and tour. And you made an inroad that you actually broke me down, and I hate everything. I hate fucking everything. And you actually broke me down, and you did a thing that I think a lot of people have experienced. And, we've got a lot of little circles that do a lot of great work. I love the Globebusters tech. They do the nerdy ass shit. Globebusters on Sunday. They talk about some shit that I don't really care about talking about. It's like trigonometry, that's the highest I ever went. I don't give a fuck about the rest of it. I'm like, I would have rather been playing rock shows for the last 10 years. But this happened to me, and now I feel obliged to support it, and I'm obliged to talk to you cats, and you're one of the big ones, man, and I congratulate you on 10 years of something that I think is pretty special, man.
Thank you.
I just think it is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And sorry for my pirate mouth.
No worries. And I wanted to say, speaking of like Globebusters as tech and this is that, we know our place too. We're trying to be the lighthearted take on all things conspiracy. Like everyone that has a successful show knows their place. Like stay in my lane.
Yeah.
Our lane. Sorry.
Well, hey, I want to say, I think that you said it best already, Mark. Your video is very Flat Earth 101 because thank you for aiming for the lowest common denominator. Turns out it resonated with everybody, just about. And it does complement Eric Dubé's, which is more of the next level,
And everybody's. Again, I did not take any. I didn't feel bad at all when people treated me like, which is where I came up with the whole Flat Earth freshman recruiter thing, which was people, because I heard this in universities time and time again, which was, it's like the juniors and seniors would talk to the freshmen. It's like, who are you reading right now? Oh, I'm reading, Plato, or was, oh yeah, I was into him freshman year. But then I got into Nietzsche and all this other stuff.
And then you were like, fry, all you freshmen, fry like bacon.
Yeah, it's there.
All
Good
right,
reference. Right, Parker Posey reference.
Good reference.
Yeah, that was
Dazed and Confused.
That's the second reference from Dazed and Confused
and
today.
So I didn't mind if my book was on the shelf gathering dust because my book at least got you into other places. So cool, wonderful, and I'm hoping for bigger and better things. I think this year is going to be a fantastic year for Flat Earth. It's already shaping up to be. We have 2 conferences in the works, bunch of meetups, and everybody, with the exception of a few hiccups, but even, again, I won't mention them by name here, but even the added drama we've had in the last couple months, talk about metrics. People are all over the place. Everything's amped up and everything's
What do you mean? What drama?
Exactly.
Are you kidding me?
I haven't heard.
Jared and Whitsett.
It has helped a great deal in terms of the numbers. The trolls couldn't be more happy. And
Exactly. Any press is good press.
they're attacking. They keep bringing up. Every time you make a video that gets 300,000 hits or 500,000 hits or whatever, and it's not even us. Hey, great! You just made a flat Earth video. There's got another 1,000,000 hits. Great. That's fantastic. There are people that would kill each other in the social media world to get a fraction of that. And people are cranking these things out every week now to where, and again, they're hitting these even with the restrictions. Even when YouTube is ratcheting everything down as tight as they can, it's still getting through. So
It's like, what is it? It's like shooting wooden arrows
into a bonfire.
Into a bonfire.
And that's very, very powerful too. And I will tell you this: it's like we've been struggling for a decade. Like, a lot of people lost a lot of friends. A lot of people lost a lot of respect. And we're just over here. We're like, I'm just telling you how I see it.
How about instead of struggling, you say surviving?
Surviving. There's surviving.
It's thriving.
too.
Look,
Thriving,
let's
yeah.
Be real. If it's growing by being attacked, you know why? Because it's the truth.
Because you're over the target.
Yeah. Remember Jack and the Beanstalk?
Growing, being attacked. I mean, they think they can't disprove it, guys. That we just see too far.
There's
Everyone who's
no
listening doesn't know what we're talking about.
community
The ocean just keeps going out. We're saying it just doesn't curve into a ball ocean. It's just water seeks its level. And guess what? Dry land rose out of it, and we stand on top of that. And then when we look up, everything just moves above us. That's all we're
Imagine water.
saying.
Imagine the
That's
behavior
it.
of water. Can you believe that? The behavior of water.
We're not
Imagine
saying
being
nothing
a
crazy. We're not
goldfish.
spinning.
It was
We're just
that
saying,
easy.
Go outside and use your senses and then come and hang out with us and watch Flat Earth Clues. That is the 101. And Mark did a fabulous job. Mark, is so great to be here with you. Obviously changing my life. I love being on Strange World. And I'm just so grateful that I wouldn't think Flat Earth actually is as cool without you. So thank you.
It wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for you.
You don't have to lie to make friends. It's
Hey, Mark, thank you for
but you know
coming
what?
on
He's
our-
not lying because he's being like water, and water lies flat. So whatever.
You speak
Hey,
Polish?
Hey, Mark, thank you so much for coming on our little show.
Yeah.
The second time, and you're always welcome here. For any kind of rant you want to go on or whatever.
Thank you, guys. No, again, if we'll see how the next few weeks pan out, but right now I couldn't be more excited for what's happening.
Venice is
Tell
a
us about
great
Mark. What do you got
place.
coming up on Strange World? You've got
Strange World. We
this
have
month. Tell us what.
We have Sean Griffin on Tuesday. We have
That's the biblical guy. What's the name of his channel?
He's great.
Kingdom
Dude, Sean
in
Griffin's
Context.
great. He's
Kingdom
amazing.
in Context, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
On the 11th, we have Josh Monday. That's episode 499, and then episode 500, which
His
is
last
gonna-
name's Monday,
Yes.
but it's on a Tuesday.
Thank you, Nicole.
Don't make me
speak
come
Nicole.
over there. Seriously.
But gank.
I will stop this car and turn it right around. The February 18th.
I want to do. There's a drum set right there. I could do a rim shot.
I swear to God, I will stop this girl. Turn right around right now.
The 500th episode and the official 10-year Flat Earth Clues. Stephen Carpenter will be there for the second hour.
Ooh.
And it's going to be a lot of fun. And
When is that?
That is going to be the 18th.
Yeah, Karen
That's
B.
the
check your
actual-
email from me. Karen B. Did you get your email?
I don't know yet.
Hey, Mark, I've known those guys, the Deftones. I've known them since the 90s. If you go on my Instagram, you can see photos.
Oh,
with me
cool.
and them. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
And-
I saw
and
Deftones.
because he's on there on that Tuesday, the very next Tuesday is when they do their North American tour. That kicks off in Portland, and then the 2 days later they're going to be in Seattle. So I'm going to go see him play in Seattle.
Karen did not get the email.
And then send it to Karen again. And then Alex is going to run into him at Madison Square Garden, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'll be there with Dave
And
on the 3rd of April.
Who else?
Okay, I'm jealous.
Marty Leeds, I think, was going to see him in was that Kansas City?
Well, you got him next Sunday, right? No,
The
that's
what?
Carl. Wait, Marty's coming on in 2 weeks on this show.
Carl, Carl, is that Carl?
We have Effie
Anyway,
Nation,
the
Carl, and then
25th,
Marty leads after
we have
that.
Curtis Vaughn, and then March 4th, Shane St. Pierre, and then the 11th, some guy named Alex Lowry. I have no
Oh,
idea.
by the
who
way,
that
I
is.
was going to say
Who
that. It's
the
like, Mark,
fuck is
I've been
that?
calling into your show for almost 10 years, and I get my first slot with Nicole on your show. I'm like, wow, man.
Really? Who approved
Dude,
that?
What is that?
That's
Somebody approved that.
311
I don't know.
DJ,
Somebody approved
did
it.
you green light that?
I don't know. Your producer probably fucked up on that
For the
one.
love of God.
I know.
You know how I feel about those two. Anyway, was there anything else?
Surprise,
I
surprise.
wait. Are you talking about?
Karen, I can't email and do the show at the same time, so I'll have to do it after.
Mark?
Hey, Lowry, when are you on
trying.
Strange World?
March.
March somewhere.
Okay.
I don't know. I have to look at the thing or whatever. But anyway,
That's so cool.
What are you gonna wear?
I'm so excited.
I'm
What are you
probably
gonna
gonna wear I don't know, a tutu. I'll wear a tutu. How about that?
Or a
Because it's Tuesday. Tuesday.
Tutu Tuesday.
God, I did
Everybody,
it. You're perfect.
Sarge,
Karen. Okay,
thanks for
Karen.
coming on the show. We
Yep.
went over tonight. You were adored and loved, and don't take that to heart because then we'll just fuck with you if you actually get all cocky on that.
That's okay.
But
I
like,
love you, brother.
Actually,
Yeah.
take it to heart. Take it to heart because you know
do
what?
take it to heart. Yeah.
Take it to heart.
Nicole and Alex, when the breakup eventually happens, I want you both to call me. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
Oh.
We'll call
I'll
from
call
different
you in-
locations.
I'll call you in like 5 minutes. Okay.
All right,
What?
I'm gonna shamelessly self-promote the end song of Mark's show, which
I
is
made
also
tater
my
tots.
song.
Tend to keep my
Love you
distance,
guys.
but I do pay
Love you
attention.
guys. Everybody,
Bye, guys.
keep it together.
Much
And,
love.
all of you flatties out there in Effie land, we love you so much. Mwah.
Because once you go flat, you never go back.
Never.
Yeah. Oh look, it's Alex Lowry.
Lowry guy.
Oh look, it's Alex Lowry.
I wish I could play this song live with him. Oh wait.
Thanks, everybody.
All I thought we threw away was everything. Fought in many wars, danced our lives away. How well we loved is how long our lovers stay.
The aliens on Mars think Mars is flat.
Mars is just
Is
a
Mars-
light. It's just a light.
Yeah, but Mars is closed.
They say that Mars is close.
Oh, look, there's Mark.
Aw,
There's
look
Mark.
at you.
Look at that guy.
And I'm so tired of
Hey,
being
thanks everybody for being
the ropes again.
It's me being a flat earth cheerleader right here.
You're a football player.
I can play football and I can play
Stay in your
guitar.
lane.
That's the lovely girl standing on the moon, wishing she had a breath of air. That's the lonely boy standing in the room, solo game musical.
Love all you guys in chat. Sorry we don't call you out more, but we're lazy.
No, I mean, okay, I can call you out. Ready? Karen B, Alex, Ruthie, Mark Sargent, and we have Trish in there, and the #1 fan, Rethink, Mark Sargent video, aka Tony Corliss, the legend.
Oh, I gotta get you back in the scene. I can see you doing the things. I gotta do this. There we go. Yes.
Valley Parks, Angela Baby Carson, MFT. Oh, and we've got
I need some glow in the dark drumstick.
I know. I'm so jealous.
Wound up chasing stars.
Rico.
Yep.
Hold on. Can you play?
I didn't hear you.
Do you play drums with those?
Remember Dottie's World? Remember Dottie? Oh, it's a mellow Roman dumb.
What you'll ever need.
Hi, Crumb.
Hi,
Nights, so many nights.
Josh,
So many ways to believe.
we got Donald. And listen, nobody can forget Ted. Never forget Ted. Chicky Eye Shady, what's up, dude? I'm probably forgetting a whole bunch of people, but
Oh, Brian's coming on Sombrero.
hey, Brian. I'm really glad that we didn't talk anything about voice actors and stuff with like the mainstream media. I feel like that's such a
Balls out physics. Oh, UAP. Remember that guy? Love him.
How do you pronounce that?
Like kind of like a vomit.
Thanks, Mark. Love you, buddy. And we'll see you around the
Say goodnight, Mark.
The station. Say goodnight, Mark.
Oh, hey,
Say
Mark.
goodnight, Nicole.
Good night, Nicole.
Good night, Alex. See you later.
Love
Good night,
you.
hot sex.